All right. Let me know. Okay. Man, my hair is long. Jeez. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear us? Recording is set. Yeah, streaming is set. Okay. Oh, and we lost Matt. Oh no! As soon as, yo.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. I'm not sure
Hey.
if that was you or me, but hi.
It's reading
Hello.
all white on mine.
Yeah,
Oh,
everything seemed to be okay on mine as well, so that was weird. Just typical, just as we're about to go live and the call drops. Thanks, Skype.
I swear that's OBS like sabotaging something. I
Yeah,
swear.
I'm not sure. Everything else seemed to be fine on my end.
Well, that was interesting.
I don't know. Maybe it was me. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Right, I need to share my
Oh,
cam again. There we go.
oh, now
There
you're
we go.
HD.
Right. Have I moved again?
No, nope. Now you're HD.
Okay.
Well, okay then. Let's adjust that, shall we? I can't even see chat right now. There we go. You see two faces? Good. Hey Andy. Hey Agent. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Technical difficulties.
Everything was fine. Everything was fine, and then as soon as you go
Boom.
start streaming,
Everything
cool.
dies.
Yeah, everything just goes wrong.
Everything just dies horribly. Okay. All right. So I guess we're ready to get started. All right. Cool. Hey guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are. Welcome to the CCG podcast, episode 2, with myself, Supervin47, and MattSparks.
Hello, hello. How's it going? I'm excited for this.
Oh man. So, as you guys may or may not know, recently the Hearthstone team has released a new expansion, which you should see in the background right here: Goblins versus Gnomes. And we're gonna be talking about that this episode. It's
Yep,
going to be interesting, don't you think, Matt?
yep. They've got some very unusual cards with different effects, and I was just been looking over them, and some of the stats, the stats on them are really unusual as well. So
I like some of the stats, but
yeah.
let's get into that first. So, for those of you guys who don't know, the very nature of goblins and gnomes in World of Warcraft are that they are incredibly random. Is do you concur?
Uh, yeah, well, they're kind of both known for doing engineering and tinkering and stuff. And so with the goblins, it's more about explosives and blowing stuff up and bombs and rockets and that kind of stuff. But with the gnomes, they're more about tinkering and making robots and little gadgets that do crazy stuff, like the gnomish mind control cap, where you can wear this cap and you can mind control one of your opponents, or the free is it the shrink ray? I think it is.
It is a shrink ray.
Yeah, shrink ray, and the world enlarger, which just basically makes you really small rather than making the world really large. But yeah,
Also, there were those there was that teleporter.
yeah,
I believe gnomes created a teleporter which either it works perfectly or it launches you some 3 kilometers into the air over the desert.
it would
And
have different effects. I think there was one. I think one of my friends used to have one, and it would kind of make him all shadowy, like a shadow priest, and it was like his evil twin had come through the portal instead of himself.
hmm
So yeah, there's always like an element to all of their kind of creations that can backfire on them and go wrong and blow up in their
incredible.
face. Yeah. So
Uh,
that's why there's that RNG element in this expansion, because sometimes it'll work and it'll be perfect and you'll be like, wow, that was amazing. And
okay.
sometimes it might go a bit wrong.
Yeah, very, very wrong. So, we have here we have here a couple cards that I need to, hang on, fix some things. Delete that, keep that. Okay. Can we somehow move this, down here without it dying? Nope. Okay, guess not. But yeah, we have here some cards to discuss, possibly some changes to the meta, you know. But Matt would know more about the meta than I do. So, shall
Well,
we get started?
yeah, sure.
Okay, so we'll go through this card by card, and when we get to the new mechanics, we'll get into that. I have two separate folders. One folder's with all the new cards that are coming out. There are about 120 cards being released with this expansion.
Yeah, I don't think they've released every single one yet, though, have they? So, but I think the bulk of them have been released. I think it's just like some of like the class cards that haven't been released, as far as I'm aware. But who knows? They might still have a few more exciting things up their sleeve before they get released.
Okay.
And as far as I'm aware, there's no actual date yet. I know they said December, but
I believe
I don't know.
I actually don't know. They said they were just releasing cards week by week, as in not releasing but revealing them. And honestly,
I think
it's
that's just up until the release, but I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know
I
when that's going to be.
They actually don't say. They've only been releasing one or two cards a week, and no, one or two cards a day. And I'm thinking, like, at the rate they're going, we're going to be into New Year's before they reveal all the cards. So when exactly are they releasing everything for sale? Oh, by the way, Matt, how are we getting these cards? Is just buying packs, right?
It's exactly the way that you get them at the moment. So you'll get them by buying them from the shop with real money or with in-game gold, and I think you might be able to win them via arena. So virtually the same way that you've been earning the cards before. So rather than it being like a solo adventure like Naxxramas was, where you go through and defeat bosses to get the cards, this is just a straight-up expansion where they just put in a whole bunch of cards and let you go wild with it all, basically.
Okay. Okay. Goblins versus Gnomes. Who's who's honestly expecting this? Were you expecting this as the next expansion?
No, not at all. Well, I didn't even think about the fact that, like when they first talked about expansions and stuff, I thought they were going to do stuff similar to
Naxxramas,
Naxxramas.
yeah.
So when this came along, when they just said, "Well, we've got 120 new cards. There you go. That's it." I was like, "Oh, okay."
It's like a legitimate expansion.
Mm.
Not just like a raid boss type thing where you earn the cards, but it's a legitimate like, oh, here's the next set of cards. Give us money.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, why wouldn't they do that? I mean, they've got like 20 million people playing, so of course, it just makes sense.
Yeah, and out of that 20 million, they only need a couple 100,000 to cash in all that
Yeah,
money, and they will
I know.
broken even. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
like out of that 20 million, you get maybe like the top, 1,000, 2,000 players who are like, we need to be at the cutting edge of this curve, of this meta. So we push in all the money to get all of the cards. And then
that's
you
right.
have like the next maybe 10,000 who are like, oh, these look nice, buy. Like you have the casual people who are just like hardcore collectors, and
Yeah.
then you have the actual competitors. So that would make bank.
I mean, I've been saving up my gold from doing like my daily quests and stuff in preparation. I really don't want to spend any more money on that game because I've spent probably a little bit too much already. I have got all the basic cards now. Like I got all the cards that are out at the moment. I have them all.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
I've got like two of all the ones that you can have two of, and then I've got one of each legendary. So I don't need to worry about getting any more cards from the normal stuff.
Okay.
So now it's just a matter of getting cards for Goblins versus Gnomes. But
Okay.
yeah,
So
it's taken me this long after my initial.
so you finally completed your entire collection.
Yes.
Nice. good.
Yes.
Happens.
Yes.
having
Yes, Mario. You spend money on buying the cards so that you can build
um
better decks, bigger and better decks.
you can spend real life currency, cash money, or you can spend gold that's earned in game via competing, via doing victories, quests, that kind
It's
of
so
thing.
easy to gain money in that. As long if you're basically trading time for money with that game.
Yes.
You either spend a lot of money. Well, you don't even have to spend a lot of money, but you spend a bit of money to get some cards and like have them straight away, or you can just do build a deck, win a few matches with it, do your daily quests, and then by the end of the week you've got enough to buy a whole bunch of packs. But it's just trading time for money.
Yes, indeed. Now, it's it's very much a free to play game, but it's not. Oh, how do I say? It's not aesthetic. The stuff that you pay for. It's
No, it's
not.
not.
Yeah, it's not
No.
aesthetic at all. In most free to play games, when you pay cash money or when you pay earned tokens or something like that, you either get a different skin or the same ability that's slightly tweaked. In this game, you actually you pay for new cards. It's a collectible card game.
But then they offer new skins in the form of card backs as a
Yes.
free thing once a month anyway.
Yep.
And there'll be a new board. I mean, a new board came out with Naxxramas, and there'll be a new board with Goblins versus Gnomes. So
Oh yeah, is there?
aesthetically, they're giving that stuff away for free anyway. So
Oh,
I
I
think I
didn't.
think I think it's a it. Like to say it's a fair business model. I think it would be more fair if it wasn't if the card packs themselves weren't as expensive as they are. If they reduced the cost of those, I think it would be a much fairer business model.
I think they're. Are they selling the new Goblin versus Gnome packs at a premium? Like,
No,
are
no.
th
As far as I'm aware, they're going to be the same price.
I was talking with my friend here in DC, and he was thinking like, oh, maybe they'll sell in a separate pack, Goblin versus Gnome specific, but it would be at a premium. The price currently is $1 per pack, or 100 gold, and as you buy more packs at the same time, the prices decrease.
Yeah. So buying in bulk reduces the amount.
Costco.
Yeah. Well, that's just a basic kind of business plan, really, for any kind of business. If you're buying in bulk, it's better for the consumer if they can save money by buying in bulk, and it also encourages them to spend more money. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the
yes, let's take a look at some of the new cards. I'm excited for
first
this.
card. Actually, you know what? I'll just leave that as is. Okay, so first card. Boom. The first card
I've,
is a
I'm waiting up for the stream to catch up.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. We can wait. The first card is a shaman card. Shaman classes, for those of you who
Yes.
don't know, are actually, I think Matt, you would know more about shamans than I do. I don't play shaman.
Um, well, their hero powers are totems, because in World of Warcraft they use totems and they use a mixture of melee and spells and heals because they're quite a hybrid class, so they get a bit of everything. This card looks like it could be quite interesting, because if you could use this to your advantage by having a lot of high cost creatures in your deck. And so if you had a lot of high cost creatures in your hand, say I'm not quite sure if this is going to trigger battle cries.
No,
I would assume it doesn't.
no,
In
it
which
won't.
case you could have a Deathwing in your hand and play this and get a turn 4 Deathwing possibly.
Deathwing is one of the most powerful cards in the game for many, many reasons.
12 attack and 12 health. There is nothing that can compete with that, really.
No.
Lord Jaraxxus as a minion has 15 health, which is probably the
He
highest
doesn't
amount
count.
of health. But he
He
only
doesn't
has 3
count.
attack. And it doesn't really count.
No.
So So yeah, so I think this could be potentially uh really really awesome, but because it's random, it's going to be one of those ones where you have to have the perfect hand for you to be able to use it.
It's no, well, I would say it's a bit of a meta changer for the shaman. Shaman right now is very much low cost minions with attack buffs, right? And then
No.
transitioning. Really?
I would say that a lot of Shaman I've been playing recently have been very much in control decks.
Really? Huh.
Yeah,
Does it
yeah.
still transition into Alakir finisher or?
Sometimes
Hmm.
um, I don't come across very many Bloodlust builds on Shamans at the moment.
Hmm.
I mean, that might change because the meta is always changing. But recently, I've been finding that I've been coming up against control decks for Shamans.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, using
Well.
lots of like silence and removal and stuff like that to control the board, and then just get some of the
Ah.
big like fire elementals and stuff like that out, and just boom, boom, boom.
Oh, never mind. Then this would work perfectly for Shaman right now. If they're if
Yeah,
they're if they're packing in the heavy minions, then this is perfect.
I mean, earth elementals have like plus. Well, they got the three over.
They have
Is it
the three
overcharge?
over. Yeah, they have the overcharge of 3 mana. So
Yeah, so you use this to get out one of those. You've got a 7/8 with taunt on the board, and
no overcharge.
there's no overcharge.
There's no overcharge. Overcharge is the battle cry. So that's the interesting thing.
Mm.
Um, but it's balanced sort of by one the randomness and two it's both players. So if you're
Yeah.
playing against, I don't know,
I mean, if you're playing against a Zoolock, then this is going to be great because they'll
yeah,
put out what a 2 or 3 cost creature probably,
yeah,
and you get to put out
your big
something
guns,
massive.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
The,
mean, if you can put the gnomish alarma bots in there as well, then that
that
could be
would
potentially awesome.
not to sidetrack here, but there's a new type of well, never mind. We'll get to it in the beginning. Let's continue with Ancestors Call. So, how popular do you think this card is going to be?
I think people will play it quite a lot to begin with, just to kind of try it out and see how it works. But I think you'll see some builds that have a lot of high cost creatures using it to their advantage and getting like big minions, big like maybe giants and stuff, getting them out on the board. Things that don't have battle cries, maybe even some dragons like Ysera and stuff, getting them out on the board early.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you get an Ysera out on say turn 4, then you can your opponent might as well just concede.
Yeah, that's true. There's no easy way to get rid of Ysera if she comes out
No,
turn 4.
or even like a Ragnaros or any of those like big high cost legendaries
Mm-hmm.
that can do potentially a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Then I mean, you could just have an Ysera, one of these, and like a whole bunch of removal, and you wouldn't really need much else. Because
Yep.
as long as you had Ysera in your hand when you play this card,
Then
you could,
that'd be it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And the
that's true.
best thing about this is that not only can you use this on turn 4 to get something big out, but you could also still use this on turn 10,
Later, yeah.
even if you've got a Ysera in your hand, which is a 9 cost creature. You can still use this to put Ysera out on the board, and
As
you've
well
still
as
got
play
6
something
mana.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, you've still got 6 mana to play with. So it's like fantastic.
I would honestly say, like, if you have two of these in your deck, one of them early on would be great, and one of them later game when you
Hmm.
say have two minions in your hand and you're both of you are top decking.
Yeah,
If your opponent has no cards in his hand, then this doesn't work. So it'd be perfect.
that's true. Yeah, yeah. Then there is absolutely no downside to it. Then is there?
Mm-mm. Or better yet, if you're playing this against a Zoolock anyway, by turn 4 their hand's gonna be empty. So it's
There's a very
honestly
good chance that'll be the case. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, I mean, the only thing against Zoolox is that they quite often have cards that do damage to them or discard their cards
Yeah.
when they play them. So you could look at that as a negative effect of using that on a Zoolock because it means that those things aren't going to happen. But
It's part of the balance.
yeah, I suppose
Honestly.
so.
Yeah. I mean,
I like it. I think it's going to be an interesting card, and I think there's going to be some nice combos played with it.
I'm
I'm
not
looking forward to trying it out.
I'm not sure if I would use it. My shaman's actually more low level aggro. My shaman's more aggro.
Well,
So
maybe it's a time for a change, then. Maybe it's time for a change.
change. I don't like change.
There's
I'm not,
120 new cards coming. You're
I
gonna
like
have to change.
I
You're
like
gonna
being
have to.
I like being set in my ways.
There's no way that any of the decks that we've been using for the last 6 months are going to be able to keep up with stuff that are going to come in to effect once these new cards come into play.
That's true. That's very
Everything's
true.
going to have to change. We're going to have to change them all. Even if you don't use the Goblins versus Gnomes cards, you're still going to have to change the decks to be able to deal with them.
All right. All right. All right. You got me.
It's just the nature of the game.
It is. It really is. Okay, so these cards that I've collected, because I'm pulling them straight from my files, they're going to be in alphabetical order. So the next card coming up is honestly a card that I like.
Wow. Okay.
The Annoyotron.
Oh God.
Oh my.
Why is it? I knew that you were going to say that. Why is it I
I
knew you were
like
going to
it.
say that?
I
It's like
like
the
it.
worst card that
I
they've
like
announced so
it.
far.
It's quirky.
It
Don't
it does it is an amusing picture.
Yeah, don't deny it's quirky. It is a 2 cost.
That's too much for that rubbish. If it was 1 cost, I'd say it was good. I'd say that's worth it. But it's 2 mana for a 1/2 with Taunt and Divine Shield.
You know what? It's a mech.
Yeah, but
There's,
there are better ones. There are
but
much better ones.
come on, it's just hilarious, and there are plenty of cards that will end up buffing it. Honestly, it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I mean,
Don't-
it's exactly what it says. It's annoying.
yeah, exactly.
It doesn't do anything else other than annoy your opponent because it's so bad.
I can actually see this in a lot of gimmick decks that are designed to annoy the fuck out of your opponent.
Yeah.
I can also see people doing this, using this card as a bit of a as a bit of a fu by they throw it down and have a whole bunch of buff cards for it.
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility, but
Yeah, no,
I-
at straight value it's just bad.
if it was 1 mana, it would be a pretty good card.
In terms of valuation, it can't be 1 mana. It has both Taunt and Divine Shield. It's
Yeah.
basically the Argent Squire and the Goldshire Footman put together. It can't be 1 mana.
It can be 1 mana.
Okay, fine.
If it was 1 mana, I would be like, that is a good card. I am definitely going to use it. But it's not. It's 2.
Parlock says something interesting. If he could get the 2/2 Frostwolf Grunt to stupid levels of HP, he could be lethal with the Annoyotron 2000. Hey, Parlock
Well, yeah, I
Parlock rolls a
suppose.
priest. You know what? It's okay. He can buff
I-
this thing all to
Yeah,
hell.
I play Priest a lot as well, but
There's also
I just think there are better cards.
there's also some warrior synergy with this. If you lock it in with the Warsong Commander, I've actually seen a couple decks, where it's Warsong Commander with a lot of cheap minions, but they hold on to it until later game so they can dump it all on the board and maximize value for Warsong.
Nice.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's all of those like 2-for-1 creatures. You know, the Murloc, the Hunter.
Ah, right. Yeah.
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 Murlocs 2, Hunters 3, Warsong Commanders 3. That leaves you with 2 additional mana to drop down another couple of cheap cards, and you can. That's either a board clear or B, it's a lot of damage. Surprisingly, with minions that stay on the board. I've seen it. I've seen it, and sometimes they use it as finishers. There's always
That-
Reverend bullshit
yeah,
can sit the fuck
fair
down.
enough. Fair enough. I mean, that would be a horrible way to be beaten is by the Annoyotron. Just being
Yes.
buffed to all hell and just smashing in the face. That would be absolutely horrible. You'd just be like, oh, just kill me now.
Also,
Yeah, that would be fun.
Also, with the addition of yet another cheap Divine Shield creature, I would say Blood Knight will see a lot more play.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, say you get, you know what? It doesn't. You don't even need to get all of them on the board. It's just that you have the higher odds of getting a cheap divine minion in your hand, such that by the time you get to turn 3, and if you have a Blood Knight, it's more value. You know, you don't need to have both of your Argent Squires. You can just have an Argent Squire and an Annoyotron. You know, like.
Although it's more mana effective to have two
Of
Argent
course.
Squires.
But I'm just saying, like, it increases the odds of you having divine minions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cheap
of course.
divine minions.
Yeah.
So that you maximize the value of that.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
think,
So, it could work, but I don't think we'll see it being played that often.
no,
Unless they're playing against you, in which case it'll probably be every game. Because you're going to be like, yes, play the Annoyotron.
and they'll be like, "What the fuck?" Ah,
It's turn 10. Put the Annoyotron out. I don't care.
yes, like, oh hi, it's like horns, horns and bells. Oh my god, it'd be amazing. The card art on it is just fantastic. I love
Yeah.
it. It's
I love that
so
he's just walking around in these tiny little pants
yeah.
and the braces.
Yep. And he has the giant like happy face pin with like horns and confetti like just blowing out of him with bright red hair, and it's just like being as loud and obnoxious as possible.
Yep.
It reminds you of Roly Poly Oly? What is that?
I don't even know what that
I
is.
don't know. But all right, I know a couple of the higher rank peeps in Hearthstone pretty much trash this card. Oh, I know that. That was an old 90s kid show. Yeah, it does. Shit, it does. It does.
Oh,
too.
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
The hands, the arms and the legs for sure.
Yeah. It does. It does a
Yeah.
little bit.
Okay.
I can see that. But
I still don't know who it is, but sure. I'll go with it.
I remember the show. It was basically a cute kids show about a little robot. But anyway, we're getting off track. So I know a lot of the higher class players sort of just crap on this Annoyotron, but it has a special place in my heart. Special annoying place in my heart.
I think if you can play this I think playing this in like a priest deck where you just like the 9/4 priest that I was playing and I have been playing for ages with stuff like the mind control tech and the other spells that kind of steal your opponent's minions, and just putting this out is just going to add to that level of annoyance.
Like if you steal a high value minion that's definitely a target, and then you pop this thing out, it's like, oh, you have to waste 2 attacks getting to it.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Anyway.
Yeah, I think putting that out in amongst kind of gimmicky decks that are going to frustrate your opponent, I think might be quite entertaining. Might not necessarily win you very many matches.
No.
But you might have a laugh while you're doing it. So,
Matt, I have a question. So,
okay.
with the new expansion, we have this new type called mech. This has never been introduced before in Hearthstone. However, with previous cards, there are mech-ish creatures. Do you know if they're gonna change the type? Like the Harvest Golem, which is technically a machine, it's a death rattle. Would that gain the mech label?
Yes, it is. That is becoming a mech. As far as I'm aware, the Demolisher might. I think the Demolisher is becoming a mech as well, but the Harvest Golem for sure is becoming a mech.
Are there any other mech type creatures that you know of?
Um,
Mechanics or
only there's the one that the legendary what's his name?
oh,
The six cost
uh,
legendary that summons a minion of some description. Some of
Gelb.
his
I think Gelbin.
yeah, Gelby Mechatalk.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, some of the stuff that he summons that will become they will be classed as mechs, as far as I'm aware. But
I think all of
the
the
mecha-
stuff.
the mechanical dragonling that gets brought out with the gnome,
Oh yeah. The
that would is it a
dragon
two
ling
one?
mechanic. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a mech.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's it. I can't think of any others. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, they're all going to be mechs from
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That
when
that
this
makes
goes live.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense because I know for sure there were a couple mech type creatures, already in the game.
Mm.
Okay. Next card is going to be a legendary.
Ooh.
The Blingtron 3000 battle cry.
Yes.
Equip a random ass weapon for each player.
Now, I've already thought of a possible combo for this, although it does
Oh,
require
have you?
turn 10.
Oh,
Does require turn 10, unfortunately.
here's Parlock with the Alarmobot. We've got Alarmobot.
Oh, yeah, of
The
course.
Harvest Golem and the Damage Golem, Demolisher, Homing Chicken, the Dragonling, Poultryizer, and the Repair Bot.
Yeah, so they're all the homing chicken, the poultryizer, and the repair bot are all the three
From Gelbin.
things that
Yeah.
from Gelbin Mechatalk. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Alarmobot. We forgot the
Yeah,
most
forgot
obvious
about it.
one.
Yeah. But yeah, the a turn 10 combo with this guy, with Harrison Jones, to get card draw, could potentially be amazing.
You know what? It
You-
does.
I mean,
it really
You're
doesn't.
guaranteed like at least 2 cards out of that.
At least one if they get hit with the Gore Howl. But the thing is,
Well-
like, it doesn't matter what weapon they get. You're gonna get value out of it. If you drop the Blingtron and a Harrison Ford, it doesn't matter. If they get a Gore Howl, great. You remove an advantage they were never supposed to have. If they get the Lights Justice, the 1/4 hammer, you get 4 cards out of it.
I was thinking more of Doomhammer.
Doomhammer.
Yeah,
Oh
that's got
shit!
8
That's
durability.
right. That's right. The
8.
2/8.
Yeah,
You know.
8 durability. So that's 8 cards,
Oh my god, that's right.
which at turn 10 you might be needing. By that
either
point, so.
either you'll be needing it or you'll be milling yourself to death. So
Yeah, I think you'd probably play the Blingtron and then wait to see what they get before playing the Harrison,
Yeah.
just in case.
yeah,
Just in case.
it's like, oh, I have 6 cards left. Oh, they have the Doom Hammer.
Yeah, in which case it's probably not a good idea to use it.
No.
But it's a good way to ensure that you've still got that weapon, your opponent doesn't have the weapon, and
Yep.
you get card draw. But
I
it does
like
mean
it.
you have to wait till turn 10 to be able to do it, unless you're a druid, I suppose. In which case, you could maybe use Innovate to be able to get to that point.
Yep.
I'm wondering though, would the hero power of a druid stack with the weapon, or would that be separate?
I would say it's a stack. It will be a stack initially, but then it will be changed because currently the hero power text says give your hero character +1 attack, +1 defense, +1 armor.
Yeah.
So I believe initially, because of the way the cards are worded, the ability is worded, it will stack. It'll give your weapon the +1 attack, and you'll give you the +1 armor. See, the rogue instead is a give your hero a 1/1 knife, a 1/2 knife.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know-
So it wouldn't stack with that.
No, it would in fact destroy the weapon.
Yeah. So
And switch it
in
out.
theory, this is probably best used with a druid, provided that actually works.
Yep. Druid would work.
That's it.
Yeah. For maximum value, I would say Druid. Druid's the only one.
So yeah, you could
I I would imagine.
Blingtron and innovate, use your hero power, get
I
an
would
extra attack out of your weapon.
I would dare say this might also be used in a lot of other cloth type characters like mage and priest, just because if you don't want to waste a frostbolt on say loot hoarder, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or like if you don't want to waste a removal spell on something that doesn't necessarily need it, but you want it, but it's like pesky.
Right.
So a mage might use this.
Yeah, sure.
I would say mage and priest might use this, but not warlock.
Well, I say with that combo, if you can get that combo to
Oh yeah,
work
if
at
you
turn 10,
if
then
you
it's
get the
good for
combo,
anything.
then yeah. Also, hey Jane, welcome.
I mean, especially if you're still playing like a handlock type of deck that has that relies on you having a lot of cards in your hand.
That is true. That is true. Though I think by turn 10 it might not be.
Yes.
You would either by turn 10 you would either be in such a losing position that it wouldn't help anyway, or you would be in
Yeah.
a fantastic position. Like this is for a handlock, that combo would be a while you're ahead
Yeah,
type
yeah.
thing. You would if you would either not need
Dump
it.
dump all your giants onto the board and then use this.
Yeah. Yeah, that works too. Acidic Swamp Ooze is a nice cheap replacement for Harrison Ford, except that it doesn't get the card draw from the destroyed weapon.
Yeah.
But Parlock is right.
When Harrison Jones gets played, he destroys the weapon and then draws the amount of cards equal to the durability that was left on the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the ooze just gets rid of the weapon and there's no card draw. So obviously, if you don't have Harrison Jones, then ooze would be the ooze would be the best way to do it, because that way they don't get the weapon and you do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you have Harrison Jones, then that'd be awesome, because then that means you get a bunch of card draw off of that as well.
Indeed. Yeah, Harris also, because the ooze only costs 2, you'd have 3 extra mana to fiddle around with if you wanted to. But Harrison Jones, I think I've talked with a fellow streamer, Kendrick Swish. He's a primarily Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm streamer. I saw him running Harrison Jones, and I asked him like, oh, why not use ooze? It's cheaper, and he says specifically for that reason, for the card draw.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it is really good. It's just because the only downside is obviously that with ooze you can have 2 of them in your deck, and you can only have 1 Harrison Jones. And if it doesn't come up when you need him, he doesn't come up. Whereas if 1 ooze doesn't come up, you might get the other one. So
Kendrick's in chat. That is exactly what you said. Yes. Now let's talk about the stats on Blingtron 3000, because this is very interesting.
Pretty bad.
This is very interesting here. It is
really.
It is a 3/4 stat, which we've only seen once before with the release of Naxxramas, the cultist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
which was what, 3 mana?
It is a 3 mana 3/4.
Yeah.
With Death Rattle, give a random friendly minion plus 3 health. So you don't like the stats for this for 5 cost?
No. Stats wise, I don't think it's that great. But the battle cry kind of makes it interesting and kind of makes you want to try it. As far as I'm aware, the weapons are actually gold as well.
Oh,
like they
are
have
they?
like a golden portrait because it's the Blingtron.
Oh.
So they actually have like a golden
Okay.
portrait for the actual weapon itself, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's I think you might see a lot of warriors using it just because
That's
they
what I
have
was
ways
thinking.
of buffing their weapons and stuff.
As well as an additional weapon, just in case they
but-
magically run through their arsenal.
But yeah, stats wise, it's not all that great, really. I mean,
Really?
it's probably going to get taken out fairly quickly because it's it's not going to trade particularly well for other 5 cost creatures.
No.
I mean, you could a Chillwind Yeti would take that out, and that's 1 less mana, and be able to take out something else as well because it'll still have 2 health.
Ooh, wow. Kendrick is calling this garbage. I think like if you're gonna play this card, you're not gonna play it for the stats. You're gonna
No.
play it for the battle cry and the possible combination with Harrison Jones.
Yeah,
Like you're
I think that's probably what I would do. Um, just for the
no,
card
yeah,
draw.
no one would play this for the stats, honestly.
But
And
you know, if you get into turn 10 and you're desperate for card draw, then chances are you're probably going to end up losing anyway. I
mhm,
don't think putting a Blingtron and a Harrison Jones at turn 10 is really going to stop you from losing a match, particularly because neither of them are fantastic cards.
no, no.
I mean,
And
I guess if you could put like oh man, what's it called? Why does my mind go blank whenever I'm trying to remember
what
the
does it
names
do?
of cards?
What does the card
The
do?
the one that gives taunt and +1/+1 to either side.
Wait, what?
The one that gives taunt and +1/+1 to the minions either side of it when you play it.
Oh, the Argent Defender.
Yes, that one. I guess if you would use that on this, then it's suddenly not as bad, but that
Or
still
yeah,
means
Defender
that
Vargas. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Defender of
Okay.
Argus, that's the
Yeah,
one. Yeah, yeah. But it does still mean that
it would be a 4/5
you
with taunt. Yeah.
a 4/5 with taunt is slightly better, but then you're playing like two cards to make it slightly better.
Yeah.
So
That would be at least a turn 9 play. So
yeah,
I don't know. I like interesting combos that are only available as long after yeah, pretty much. Blingtron and Harrison Jones is not a particularly good combination. It's it's a combination you use while you're ahead. You would like because if you're behind, it has very little efficacy because that's all 10 of your mana. You wouldn't be able to play a thing. Like that's the only thing I don't like about it. But if you're ahead and you want to slap your opponent around a little bit, then yeah, sure.
I think it's a nice card. Like I like the idea behind it. And I think it might be fun to kind of experiment with it a little bit. But
Hmm.
the stats wise, I just don't think it's going to be that useful in kind of competitive matches.
What
If you're trying to be competitive, I just don't think it's going to work that well.
what I'm a little bit worried about is that Blizzard is going to end up nerfing this. There people are
Nerfing
going to
it.
yeah. Let me finish my thought. So
Okay.
there people are going to use it for the battle cry, right? And they're going to use their weapon like how many weapons are there out there that do 3 or above damage?
Uh
There's so many
oh,
now.
blimey.
There's
Um.
the Paladin. You have the sword. No, not Sword of Justice. True Silver Champion, and you even
Yeah.
have Ashbringer,
Oh yeah, I forgot about Ashbringer.
right?
Yeah, I guess that would be classed as. Yeah, yeah, that would
It
be in
would
there.
be. It's
Yeah,
a weapon. Yep.
yeah.
Warriors. You have the
Fiery War Axe,
Fiery War
and then
Axe,
you've got
Arcanite
Arcanite
Deathbite.
Reaper, Gorehowl.
Yep.
Rogues have. I'm just
Assassin's
looking.
Blade, and the Blade of Perdition.
The Petition's Blade's only 2 attack.
Oh, that's
Not
right.
3.
Assassin's Blade is 3.
Yeah.
That's 7 weapons that do 3 or above damage. And no, and we count Doomhammer. Doomhammer does
Mm,
4 damage if you hit twice.
yeah, yeah, I suppose.
For sake of argument, we can count that. So that's
Okay.
8.
All right.
That's 8 weapons that do, you know, at least 3 damage.
Plus
Most
any new ones that they're going to introduce. Because obviously there'll be.
also.
I think I've seen at least one.
Oh,
That's the. Oh, it's only got 2 attack.
Jiraxxus's fist counts as a weapon. It's a 3/8.
And Ogre Warmaul, which is a new one.
I didn't see that one. Shit. What does
That's
it do?
it's a 4 attack, 2 durability, 3 cost.
But it's a neutral card.
And it's 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy.
That's why it's a neutral card.
Yeah, because you might end up hitting something else instead.
That you don't want to hit at all.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
it'd be alright if your opponent gets that. That'd be
Yeah.
fantastic.
50% chance to hit someone completely different. But
Yeah, because if they've got if they've got like a Chillwind Yeti on the board or something, that's going to really help you out because they might end up hitting that instead.
yeah, my argument here is that whatever weapon you're gonna get, odds are you'll have enough to remove that 5 cost minion. It's gonna hurt, but you might remove it.
It's
And
not going to hurt
the
that much though, is it? I mean, really, it's only got 3 attack. It's not huge amounts.
no, as in like whatever weapon you get, like if you can take out whatever minion they have on their side, that might remove it.
Oh, I see.
And it's the interesting 3/4 stat, such that low level removal doesn't work. Frostbolt does 3. You know, like
True.
they have to pour additional. It's basically
Lightning Bolt does 3 as well. So
yes. It's basically the Crocolisk and Yeti, intermediate.
mm,
Trump has said this. The 3/4 stat before the cultist never been introduced.
that is true.
So this is the middle
But
child.
for priests, easy target. Shadow Word Pain.
That's true. It is a very easy target.
Well, it's
It
not just
it
Shadow Word Pain though, is it? It's what's the other spell that they've got? Shadow Madness.
Shadow Madness. Yeah, it's 3 or less.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true. But like I said earlier, you're not gonna play this for the stats. You're playing it for the battle cry.
yeah.
There's already another 3 cost 3/4 that has no text on it in here that we'll get to later.
Yeah, I mean, the Organized Soul Priest in a priest deck is a 4 cost 3/5. So stats wise, it's already better than a Blingtron.
Yeah, yeah. I would say ability wise too. Honestly,
Well, yeah.
yeah. But Blingtron is interesting and funny. Actually, yeah, it is possible to accidentally hit something with 20 attack.
I guess so. Yeah, yeah.
Like say if they're
I mean,
hiding
let's just quickly compare it to some of the neutral cards that already exist for 5 costs. So you got Azure Drakes, which are 4/4 for 5 that draw a card and give you +1 spell damage.
Yep.
A Dark Scale Healer, which is 4/5 for 5, restores 2 health to everything on your side. There's Fen Creeper, which is a 3/6 for 5 with Taunt. Gadgets and Auctioneer, which is a 4/4 for 5 and draws a card every time you cast a spell. Leroy Jenkins, a 6/2 with Charge.
Leroy Jenkins costs 6.
5.
Is it 5?
It was 4, it went up to 5.
No, I thought. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Sludge
sorry.
Belcher,
I'm sorry. Yeah. It's the wrong one.
Lotheb,
Yep.
Spectral Knight, Stampeding Kodo,
Oh, cool.
Silverhand Knight,
So
you know,
it's a good one.
Stranglethorn Tiger, Venture Coat Mercenary. There are so many better cards stats wise than the Blingtron. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah. No.
we'll see.
Well, I'm curious to see what happens with the Blingtron though.
I like the idea behind it.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm
It's
just not
just
sure that's
bad.
going to work.
It's just bad. I like you.
It's just bad.
I like you,
But you're
Blingtron.
bad.
But you're just bad. It's like, but I give you gold. I give you golden weapons. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. But you
I
give
like golden
him.
weapons.
You give him golden weapons too. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing of it. Oh,
I mean,
jeez.
basically, you wouldn't want to play this until turn 7,
No.
so that you could at least
Ooze.
combo it with an
Yeah.
ooze.
You need to hold an ooze in your hand specifically to counteract the negative effects of this card.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
And I think that in and of itself reduces the utility of the ooze. Because instead of saying like, oh, he has Arcanite Reaper, I should use the ooze right now. It's like, oh, but right, I have Blingtron. That might run the risk of giving him a second Gorehowl or a random, Doom Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
I suppose if you're up against like a paladin who's just pulled out a true silver champion so they get a little bit of extra health.
Yeah, you
Using a
can.
bling chong to get rid of it and give them like a light's justice or something instead
That's
might be
interesting.
okay. Or if they've got a gore howl which they're using to slowly pick off one like each of your minions that you've got on the board,
Yes.
swapping that out for something else might be better. But uh, yeah, it's a bit situational, I
Yeah,
think.
Matt and Jane hit on a very interesting a topic there. Warriors have upgrades. More often than not, they will use that upgrade on Gorehowl to make it like a 8-2 or something like that. If you use the Blingtron, it destroys both the Gorehowl and the upgrade and has a chance of replacing it with a lesser value weapon.
Which is a lot of weapons, really.
Which, yeah.
I totally forgot about the hunter weapons.
Oh shit, that's right. It's
It's like
Gladiator's longbow.
two
The
hunter weapons as well. So
It's the
yeah,
Eagle Horn bow, which costs 3,
yep, and
and
does 3 damage.
and Gladiator's longbow, which does 5.
Yep, and that costs
Yeah.
7.
Yep. Those weapons are also in play.
Mm.
So it's I don't like it for its cost.
No, if it was 4,
Yeah,
I think
if
that
it
would
was,
be all right.
yep. Yep. If it was 4 costs, perfect.
I mean, 3 it would be overpowered. So
no.
4, I think is a fairly good,
Or
fairly good.
or make it cost more but remove the each player. Make it cost more but give only you the weapon. I'd be okay
Well,
with that.
yeah,
I'd be okay with that.
yeah, but it's still rubbish for stats.
Oh yeah, no. It's just bad.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
yeah,
bad.
that's an interesting point from Jane there. It's kind of an interesting card. Its effect changes every time they make a new weapon, regardless of whether people use the new card.
Yep.
Yeah, there's always that chance that new weapon card is going to pop up, even if no one else is playing with that card. I mean,
Yep.
you don't see many people using Light's Justice, the one attack card,
No.
one attack weapon that
The 1/4
paladins
weapon.
have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see many people using that.
There's no utility to it. It's either a divine shield popper or useful in early game for picking off low, 1 health minions. Like
Yeah.
I think the Light's Justice was designed to be used in combination with Equality.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
there's
But most
no
people use equality to get rid of things that have got a lot of health.
Yeah.
That usually have a lot of attack as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that using Light's Justice to do that. I mean, you wouldn't want to hit Ragnaros in the face just because he's only got 1 health.
No, you would send someone else to do that job.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I'm not doing that. But Kendrick also made an interesting comment earlier that Jaraxxus's weapon, his fiery war hand thingies, that's a weapon.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah,
It's a 3/8 weapon, yeah. So that also counts. You might end up getting a golden Jaraxxus's weapon. It's like
Wow.
you basically just cut off the Blingtron basically cut off Jaraxxus's arm, coated it in gold, and handed it to you. Like here,
Yeah, there you
use
go.
this. and it's still
It's dangerous to go alone. Take
take
this.
take this arm.
It's like he's just got this huge arm. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
It's like you hit people with it. Man,
Just
could you
people.
imagine that using the
Hit
Blingtron against a player who's used Jaraxxus? And you're basically like, why are you hitting yourself, Jaraxxus? Why are you hitting yourself?
But you would get rid of Jaraxxus's arm.
Yeah, you would
And
cut off
you-
his arm and replace it with like a Light's hammer or something. Light's Justice.
That'd be great.
That'd be amazing.
Again, I think that you could use this to mess with people.
Yes.
Not in the same way that the Annoyatron would mess with people, but
I
yeah, this could possibly mess with your opponent quite a lot. But situational.
seriously though, I would say this card would be used like it would be so rarely used that when it is, it would be a complete shock and catch people completely by surprise, possibly leaving them in a vulnerable position.
Because I think with most of these cards, I think you'll probably see the first 3 or 4 weeks maybe people will be using whatever cards they get from the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if people get a Blingtron, I think people will probably just put it in a deck just to kind of see how it works and just try it out. But I think once it's been out for a while, I think
Yeah,
people will probably just go, "Do you know what?
it'll
It's not."
depreciate. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is exactly why I say it'll be completely surprised. They will not
Yeah.
expect it at all.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, let's move on to the next card.
Okay.
Bomb Lobber. 5 cost 3/3 battle cry, deal 4 damage to a random enemy minion. Rare card. What do you think?
I think that's pretty good.
Yep. Me too. Me too, dude.
It's pretty good. Because you're essentially using like, well, it's not even a frostbolt because it does 4 damage, so it's slightly better than a frostbolt. If you think of it in that terms, it's not so bad as far as like the stats and the mana cost is concerned. Because a frostbolt, which does 3 damage, is 2 mana. So if you class this as being a 3/3 for 3 plus the 4 damage for 2 mana, it kind of works out.
Yep. Also, Jane is quite right. It would kill Blingtron.
And yeah,
It would kill Blingtron.
it would.
Yeah, if you divide up the statistics, say it's a 3 cost 3/3, and you tack on an additional 2 for the frostbolt.
The 4 damage.
But instead of having
damage,
instead of having a freeze effect, you have an additional damage.
Mm.
So it's 2 cards for 1.
Yep.
I like it. And it's random, so it hits stealth minion. Say you're going up against Miracle Rogue, who,
Oh, Gadget's an auctioneer has 4 health.
yes.
Oh, that could be so good.
Yes. That would be like, okay, you know what?
Because quite often that's the only minion he has on the board when you're playing against a Miracle Rogue.
Yes.
Oh, that could be really good.
Hey, Camo, how's it going? Exactly.
I like that idea. I like that a lot.
So, say you're on turn. Say you're second player. Turn 5. Out comes Gadget's hand. Preparation. All that. Poison. Prep, all that kind of crap. You toss out a bomb lobber. Kill that. That concealed thing that he was gonna play, Cold Blood on next turn. If he was, or say he pumps Cold Blood into it before. Like,
I've seen that happen. I've seen them do that before, where they put Cold Blood on.
Yeah, prep, conceal, prep, Cold Blood gives it an 8/4 hidden, and they're gonna be like, I didn't draw Leroy, so might as well, pour the stats into this.
Yep.
Then your turn 5, drop Bomb Lobber, only minion out there, and that's a big FU.
Yep. I
And
like
it's
that
great.
idea a lot. Yeah.
It's great. This card is really good. You could also look at conversely as a sort of, if you just focus on the battle cry, it's a cheaper fire elemental that's more powerful. Fire elemental does 3 damage.
Well, yeah, but then the fire
stat-
elemental is a 6/5.
Stat wise, that's why I'm saying
Yeah.
if you just focus on the battle cry.
Yeah.
If you just focus on that, it's a good card. And it's basically a fire elemental for non-shamans.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I guess you could try and buff it a little bit afterwards if you really wanted to. I mean, I suppose if you're a priest, you could stick a divine shield on it, or whatever it's called. Not divine shield. What am I thinking of?
Power word shield.
Power word shield.
Yep.
Yeah, you could stick a power word shield on it to give it a couple of extra hit points, but
I like it.
I think just the battle cry alone will make it quite desirable, because there's a lot of creatures that have 4 or less attack health even.
Yep.
So that will kill a whole bunch of stuff.
There are a lot of 5 cost creatures that are very valuable. Azure Drake, Gadget Zan Auctioneer.
Abomination even. I mean, it's not likely that many people play that, but in the event that people do, that will get rid of that.
Yep. So I think this actually might be a very commonly used card. I think so.
Yeah,
What do you think?
yeah, yeah. I like it. I think it could be. I think it could be very good. Obviously, the only problem is that it's a random enemy minion. So
If they have a lot, it's
if
gonna
they
be.
have, if you're playing up against a zoo type deck, then
Oh.
it's probably not going to be that useful. Or if you're playing against like a shaman that's running a lot of like totems and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not so good.
It would be reduced efficacy for sure.
Yeah. Obviously, the best time to play this is when your opponent has only got like one or maybe two creatures on the board.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure. Um. I think. What kind of decks do you think would pick this up? Buff decks maybe. Like a druid maybe.
I think
Or
aggro decks.
aggro for turn 5. Really?
Yeah, well, deal 4 damage. I mean, that will take out a big chunk of any taunts.
Hmm.
If you're playing
That's
a
true.
fast and aggressive deck, and in desperation they're going to need to do something about that. So quite often they'll just put a taunt out. 4 damage off of that taunt's health is quite a big chunk. It's like Senjin Shield Master or Sludge Belcher. It leaves them with 1 health.
Yep.
So some of your smaller creatures can then just pick it off.
That is entirely true. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
I mean, I'd quite like to see a deck that has like a lot of these kind of cards in. So like
Oh, just
the
goblins.
Elven Archer and the Mad Bomber and the Madder Bomber and the Bomb Lobber and the cards that do damage when they get played.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like
Oh man,
the dwarves that do that, and there's
yep. The dwarven gunners, goblin
yeah,
bombers, elven archers, all that kind of
the
thing.
Nightblade, all that kind of
Oh
stuff.
man, that's right. I forgot about that. Nightblade would also be killed. Is another 5 cost that'd be killed by this. It's a 4/4 that does 3 damage
hmm
to the face.
Silverhand Knight,
Silverhand Knight.
Stalag.
Ooh, might not want to kill Stalag.
Well, it depends. It
What?
depends on whether they've put Fugan out or not.
Yeah.
If they haven't put Fugan out, you're all right.
Not yet. As long as Fugan has not yet died, then they're okay.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
you're okay.
hmm
Oh man, that's true. Oh shit.
But yeah, it'll kill Captain Greenskin.
Yep.
It'll kill Booty Bay Bodyguard.
Harrison
Uh,
Jones.
Harrison Jones.
Anything with 4 or less health would die. One shot.
I like that idea.
Yep. I
I like
like
that
it.
idea.
I like it. I would definitely use this. Yeah.
Mm.
Alright, next card. Oh, the anti-hand lock. Clockwork Giant 12/12 costs 1 less for each card in your opponent's hand. It's an 8/8. It's basically the counter to the Mountain Giant, which is the same exact statistics, except it costs less for each card in your own hand.
Yep.
So Clockwork Giant, effectively anti-hand lock.
Yep.
There's no other situation. There's a lot of stuff
I
like
like
this in Magic, I imagine. Yeah.
I like that idea. I like that idea. The fact that if your opponent is hoarding cards, and you can just go, well, if you're going to hoard cards, then I'm going to give you this,
Yep. Yep.
and then they're like, oh,
It's- Can you? Yeah.
comboed with a faceless manipulator. That'd be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's entirely true. Like, say
And
if
because it's a mech, there's always a chance to buff it with other mechs as well.
indeed. Honestly, I would say this card could find use in a lot of things. Like, it would be definitely useful against handlock for early game, obviously, because they're still hoarding cards. But it could be useful in a lot of other decks too. It could be useful against a lot of other decks that are, say, mid game. You know, they have, say, 5 cards in their hand, and you're getting up to turn 6, turn 7. You can still play it. Yeah,
Yep. Or you could Cold Light Oracle and then play it.
that's true. That's entire. Ooh, Cold Light Oracle synergy with the Clockwork Giants.
You cold light Oracle that makes your opponent draw 2 cards,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously this is going to cost 2 less than it would have done before.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
If you're playing a druid, you could naturalize.
Oh my god, that's right. Clockwork Giant would synergize with the mill type deck.
Yep.
Oh my god, rogues and druids are gonna run this hard. I think
So
initially.
you could cold light Oracle and naturalize, which would make them draw 4 cards on
Yep.
top of whatever they had already,
Yep.
which would make this incredibly cheap.
Yep. Yep. Or if you're say a rogue and you just keep shadow stepping your Cold Light Oracle, end up milling them to like say 10 cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then this
And
costs
then,
2.
oh, 2 mana, 8/8 giant. Thank you.
Boom. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Or hell, even if you're actually yeah, just any sort of mill deck. This has it's not just handlock, it's not just anti-handlock. It's a
Nope.
mill deck synergizer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
I think that's what's been missing from that kind of
From mill
idea
decks,
of playing
yeah.
that kind of gimmicky deck of
There's
milling, because
there's no heavy
it can
hitters.
either work really well
Yeah.
or it just doesn't work at all.
Yep.
And most of the time, it doesn't work.
No.
So this is actually something that could possibly give you that incentive to play that deck and actually be able to win with it occasionally, which I like the idea of. I think that's a great idea.
Mill decks right now are very much a race for time.
Yeah, I mean, there's something quite satisfying about milling your
Yeah.
opponent and then burning their cards as they overdraw because they've got too many cards in their hand.
Yeah. But it's still a
It's something
race for
quite
time.
satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mill
definitely, because you're milling your own cards as well a lot of the time.
possibly.
You're I mean, with stuff like Cold Light Oracle, there's you're drawing cards as well, so you kind of need to get. I mean, in theory, with Cold Light Oracle, because each player draws 2 cards, if you're using that on a regular thing,
Mhm.
like bringing it back into your hand and then
Yep.
putting it back out again, you could play the Mountain Giants as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. In a double mill deck, you could play
So
Clockwork and
because
Mountain.
because you're drawing so many cards as
Yeah.
well, you could play the Mountain Giants too.
That's true. That's true. Oh my god. So Clockwork Giant actually works in a lot of decks. Oh shit. I can see this being used a lot, maybe more often than Mountain Giant. Because Mountain Giant right now is largely just handlock. You rarely
Yeah.
ever see it anywhere else.
Well, there have been like a few Paladin decks that have giants in, and a few Mage decks that have giants in, but yeah, primarily it's handlocks. They're the kind of more useful because they can draw as many cards as they want with their hero power.
Mountain Giants would right now are specific, more so specific to handlock, but Molten Giant, yeah, Molten Giant, Sea Giant, great, all around okay cards for just about any other class,
Mm.
you know. But yeah, enough about. I can definitely see Clockwork Giant getting a lot of use. Anyway, next card.
Yeah.
Clockwork Gnome. Yeah, what do you think?
I'm just waiting for the stream to catch up so I can actually see it.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Sorry, we're not sharing screens at the moment.
Clockwork Gnome. It could be quite good. I mean, it's not that much different to a not leper gnome, a loot hoarder.
Yeah, except it adds a very specific set of cards to your hand.
Yeah, but then it's only 1 mana, whereas a loot hoarder is 2. So
That is,
if you're playing a mech deck, I think this will be great.
that is also entirely true. Okay, let me just throw up the spare parts cards up here.
Yeah.
Because I do have them. Alright, select sub-region. Hang on, guys. Be right with you. Okay, so while I'm getting this ready, how about you talk about the stats and
Well,
usability?
yeah, I mean, stats wise, it's exactly the same as a leper gnome, which is a 2-1 for one, which isn't too bad. And plenty of people play the leper gnome. Admittedly, it's more because it does 2 damage, and if you kill it, you're still going to take 2 damage. But I think the spare parts, I think we could see them becoming quite useful and quite effective, and I'm interested to see how they're going to play out.
Mm.
As you can see, I mean that give it a minion +1 health. It
So
doesn't. That could be any minion. It doesn't have to be a mech.
no, spare parts are effectively one-cost, very cheap cards that are minor buffs. I guess is that?
I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I mean most of them are fairly minor buffs, but there are some that I would class as being quite a big buff.
Hang on, let me just. There we go.
Like giving a friendly minion stealth until next turn with the cloak field. That's
Hmm.
pretty cool. I'd say that was quite a large buff, and I think there's one that gives Wind Fury,
Hmm.
which I think is pretty awesome too. There's one returns a friendly minion to your hand. Give a minion taunt.
Oh, hang on, let me just get those up. So freeze minion, finicky cloak field gives a friendly minion stealth until your next turn.
Yep.
Um,
So I think they're pretty useful. I think they could be really good for um the obviously you don't know what you're going to get though. So
no, it could get you could get any one of them. Hang on, let me
mm.
just get this card out here. Okay, so there's the reversing
Reversing
switch.
switch.
Yep,
I like that. I like that a lot.
it's basically the alchemist.
Yeah, the crazed alchemist.
Yep, except much
Um,
cheaper.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, the thing with the crazed alchemist is that I used to play it quite a lot with a priest deck because sometimes things with 4 attack would have either 3 or 5 health. So by swapping them, it means you can actually kill them with like the Shadow Word Pain or Shadow Word Death that you wouldn't have been able to kill previously.
mm.
So having that in a priest deck is quite useful.
What do
Giving a
you?
minion taunt is awesome
Yep.
because it
Yeah.
means that you don't have to. You know, if you're stuck for, if you're getting a little bit overwhelmed, you can just put a creature out and give it taunt
Mm-hmm.
just to buy yourself some time.
I I think that would be very useful later game if you're like pumping out giants or things, big things that naturally don't have taunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can use that to buy time. Or
Returning a
hell,
friendly minion to your hand
yep.
is that's potentially great because anything with a battle cry, just bring it back to your hand, play it
Mm-hmm.
again.
Yep. It's
Playing a novice
base.
engineer, cool. I'll have another card. Thanks very much. Playing an Iron Beak Owl, silence that. I'll bring it back to my hand. I'll silence something else.
It's basically like a self sap. Basically,
Yeah, I
it's
guess so.
yeah. It's a less
You,
value shadow step.
yeah, like the youthful brewmaster and the Shadow Step and all those cards. Yeah,
And then you have
but
more basic
but you
stuff. Yeah.
but the thing is you don't you because it's the problem is it's random. But the good thing is that you don't actually have to put these into your deck.
No. And the best part is like each and every one of these cards has a special effect that is pretty valuable.
Yeah.
Honestly, like whirling blades here give minion +1 attack. Like there are going to be such circumstances where you need that +1 attack on something. Actually,
Yep.
all the time. That's why Direwolf Alpha is so valuable.
Yep.
You know, just that simple +1 is great. And I
Mhm.
think there's another. Nope, that's it. That's all the cards. That's all the
Okay.
spare parts. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. No, I think they're really useful. Obviously, it's quite situational as to when you're going to need them,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Um.
think they are all potentially useful.
Now there was actually a card that was actually in spare parts that shouldn't be. It's a warrior specific card. If
Oh,
I can
really?
find it. Hang on.
So yeah, you could give a Berserker taunt if you wanted to. So the Gurubashi Berserker, which is a 2/7, you could give it taunt with that.
Alright, hang on. If I could just find it. Come on, buddy. Hang on, I'll be right. I'll get it. I'll get it. There we go.
But there are quite a few cards that do that similar sort of thing where they put a spare part card into your hand, either on a battle cry or a death rattle or something. I think there's one that puts a spare part card into your hand every time it takes damage.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. So we have
yes,
Bouncing Blades. A warrior specific card. Give a berserker taunt? Yeah. And run
I
cards.
saw the
Yeah.
I saw the animation for this during the BlizzCon live stream,
Oh, nice.
and it looks great. It literally is like this bouncing blade that just bounces around the screen until something dies.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, which could be really really good. I mean, you wouldn't want to. It's a warrior card, so you wouldn't be able to combo it with like equality anyway. But if you've got like a lot of high health minions on the board,
Mm-hmm.
this could be really good because it could, in theory, get them down to get them all down really really low health
Yep.
before it finally finishes one off.
I definitely see this as sort of a late game card. And you don't. This is actually a card you would use while you're down, while you're at the
Yeah,
disadvantage.
it's I'd say it's like on a par with Brawl.
Yes.
It has that similar. It has that kind of similar effect.
Except with Brawl, instead of killing all but one, it kills one but horribly weakens everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Bouncing Blade would be a incentive for other players to keep a 1 health minion on the board at all times.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
I would
Yeah,
say
because as soon as that minion gets killed, then the
it
bouncing
stops.
blade effect stops.
It stops. Yeah.
But if you've got like I don't know, an earth elemental and a fire elemental and maybe a couple of other things,
And like Yetis or
yeah, it's just gonna keep going and going
Mhm.
and going until something dies. And I think that's a fantastic card. I like that card a lot, which I guess is probably why it's epic.
Yep. Maximum value for this would be Bouncing Blades and then into like a whirlwind or something like that.
Hmm.
It could possibly be a 4 cost board clear.
Oh, I've just had a thought. And it could be potentially amazing. And I need to just check to see
Okay.
whether that's
All right.
Frothing Berserker,
Oh shit.
Bouncing Blade.
Oh shit. Pray to sweet RNGesus that the Frothing Berserker is not the one that's dead. Pray.
Yeah.
Pray.
Whenever a minion takes damage, gain +1 attack. So
And the Bouncing Blades deals 1 damage to a random minion until
So
one of them dies.
it could end up with a Frothing Berserker that's just completely out of control. Or it could just kill the Frothing Berserker. So
Or-
maybe.
It has the potential to be incredible.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
That is holy shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Bouncing Blade will also hit things in stealth as well.
It's random.
So
Everything that's random,
yeah.
stealth counts.
Yep.
So, holy shit. That's
But yeah,
incredible.
Frothing Berserker could be just amazing.
It
for that.
could end the game.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It could be very,
It
very
depends.
much
It all depends on how much damage the Bouncing Blade ends up doing. But yeah, it could end up being amazing.
Man, Frothing Berserker. Shit, I didn't think of
I mean,
that.
putting enrage creatures out as well before you play this.
Oh man,
A couple of Gurubashi Berserkers. Put a couple of them
Gurubashi,
out.
Amani, Frothing, like all the Berserker type. Hell, even that stupid 2/3 taunt. If you're running arena and you pick the 2/3 taunt, even that would get value.
Possibly, or it might end up just dying.
Or just
But even still,
just
if that dies and you've still got the Frothing Berserker and stuff out, then that's not so bad.
yeah, that's like at least 3 damage. You know,
Yeah.
that's at least 3 additional damage. Oh my god. the value.
Mm-hmm.
The value. And your opponent would basically have to sacrifice one of their minions to kill it next turn.
Yep.
There's a lot of potential synergy here. Yeah. Holy shit.
I mean, if you could pull it off, turn 9, playing a warrior deck.
Turn 9, so Bouncing Blades is 3.
Right, so
Frothing Berserker 3.
Frothing Berserker is 3, so you put that out first.
Uh-huh.
Then you Bouncing Blade in the hope that your Frothing Berserker does not die. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Providing your Frothing Berserker doesn't die, you can then give it +2 attack and charge with charge.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
for another 3 mana.
Shit.
And the world explodes.
And odds are, at that point, if you're just playing largely, like, not even largely control, you know, you just allow your opponent to build up a large board and just armor up. Like, if you just play pure armor, not even control, just armor smiths, you know, Acolyte of Pain to draw for it.
And yeah, I've got a deck that does that. I've played games with that sort of control deck that I end up with full health and like 20 armor at the end of it, and I've won. So yeah, it is possible to do that sort of thing. So I think that could be really good.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited to try that one out.
It is an epic. This is a very powerful card. Okay,
Yeah.
Next up is one of the first neutral weapons. Coghammer. Kind of a weird weapon if you think about it. Try not to think about it too hard.
Waiting for the stream to catch up.
Yep.
Ah, the Coghammer, yes. Is this definitely a neutral weapon? I guess it is. It doesn't have any of the special borders or anything.
Nope.
That's odd. Because when I first read it, I was like, oh, it's probably a paladin weapon.
Nope.
With a random friendly minion, divine shield, and taunt.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's as long as you combo it with the right minion, then that's fine.
Yeah, that is entirely true.
You want to play Chillwind Yeti and then play your Coghammer?
If the Chillwind Yeti survives, then yeah, that'll do it. I also had some questions about this because there's no it's not rogue colored. It's not, you know, there's no identifying colors to it.
Divine Shield is just basically like an impenetrable shield, so it has to take damage to kind of pop the shield before it will start taking damage.
It doesn't matter how much damage you hit Divine Shield, it will negate all of it. So one of the best ways to get rid of it is to just, you know, lightly tap it with a 1 damage thing.
Yeah.
Because it will absorb.
Because then you don't waste.
Yeah.
You don't waste the rest of that damage.
Yes. Divine Shield will absorb everything for 1 shot. Yes. It prevents all damage from one source. And taunt. Coghammer. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely something you'd want to play, you know, mid-game if you need a taunt out of a really good card. You know,
not necessarily if you it doesn't even have to be if you need taunt, but it could just be to help you remove something without losing your minion.
That's
giving it the divine shield, you know, on a say like a Chillwind Yeti or something. That means it can attack something for that, you know, for 4 damage, and you won't lose your Yeti in the process.
Coghammer Chillwind Yeti is basically that Sunwalker that gives you a weapon. Yeah. Sunwalker is 6 cost.
For 1 extra mana.
Yeah, for 1 extra mana, which gives you the weapon. I mean, that's a good combo. I think. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. If someone played Frothing Berserker and Bouncing Blade the previous turn and somehow, by miracle, you survive, you can pop down any minion and the Coghammer and hope to God that they don't punch through it before, without having to use the Berserker. But yes. Hey, Dapkick, how's it going? I don't know. Do you see this being used a lot?
Yeah.
Matt?
Especially for classes that don't have weapons.
I can
Because
see that.
because if you're say for example you're playing a mage
Mm-hmm.
and you've got say you've got one ooze in your deck. You're playing against the mage. You're probably going to just mulligan the ooze because you don't need it because you're playing against the mage. And then the mage turn 3 goes, ha ha ha! Fooled you. I have a cog hammer. Take that.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
Um,
Ah.
plus, plus it can, as I say, it can give your minions that you've already got the ability to trade a lot better.
Mm. Yeah. 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 That's true. It basically gives any minion, any random friendly minion, the same abilities as a Sunwalker.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty powerful. That's potent.
Mm.
I like it. I like it. And
Yeah,
that's why it's epic.
yeah, and
That's why it's,
it's got 3 durability as well, so it's not so bad. It means
hmm
you can use it 3 times. I can see warriors using this with an upgrade.
That's right. It'd be a 3/4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Or was it Spiteful Smith?
Yes. Spiteful
So that's
Smith, the
6,
4/6, 5 cost.
5 cost.
It gives your weapon an additional +2 damage if enraged.
Yeah,
So it'd be a
yeah, that's right.
4/3.
That's pretty nice.
I do. Yeah, I like it. I like it. And you could give the spiteful Smith divine shield and taunt. Make it like a, let's see, it's 4/6 health. Assuming it takes 1 damage, it'd be another Sunwalker.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
I feel like this is the Sunwalker maker. Honestly, a lot of people are going to be using it on situations like that.
mm-hmm.
But I like it. I like
Yeah,
it. And
yeah,
I like that it's a neutral card. Up until now, all weapons have been class specific. So this
yep.
definitely
I mean,
adds that.
there's so many cards that you could combo this with, like Spectral Knight, for example, which would be amazing
Mm-hmm.
as a taunt that can't be targeted by spells or hero powers.
Oh shit, that's right. Oh man, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, yeah. I like how we're gonna be seeing this in a lot more decks. This is definitely gonna be a commonly used card, even
yeah, I
after
think
the
so.
initial rush. I
More
like
for
it.
the battle cry than anything else.
Oh yeah, no, you're not using this again. You're not. A lot of these cards you're not gonna use for the stats. You're gonna use it for the effects, which is
Yeah, I
basically
mean,
how gnomes and
the
goblins
actual
work.
stats, themselves are ideal for the mana cost because of the kind of time that you're going to be playing it. You to get the best if you're going to be using it to trade, you want to be using it around turn 3, turn 4 because that's when your opponent is likely to be playing things that have 1 or 2 health.
Exactly.
Anything after that, and you're going to be using it to either pick off things every so often that maybe just need finishing off, or you're just going to be using it to go straight for face. So
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next card,
I like it.
Cogmaster. Ah, this is one of those mech synergizer cards. Let's see if the stream should catch up fairly soon.
Oh, I see. Yep. Um. Yeah.
I honestly, it feels a little bit limited to me.
What do you mean? I thought you'd like this one. I thought this would be right up your street after the Annoyotron. Put an
The
Annoyotron coin into Cogmaster. Boom.
the only thing, like, I thought it would be additive, but it's not. It's only +2 attack while you have a mech.
Yeah.
So
Well, then
that
that's a 3/2 for 1,
yeah, yeah,
which is
yeah.
the same as a flaming,
Yeah,
as long as you
no,
have
yeah,
mech
that's
on
true.
board,
That's true.
and you don't have the negative of taking 3 damage, like you would if you had a flame imp.
That's true. There's a lot of synergy there. Yeah.
Yeah, and even if they've killed your Annoyotron turn 2, so they say they managed to do that somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Who goes down to only having 1 attack, but then you put out another mech, and he goes back up to 3 attack, and then you attack with it.
That's true. That's very
So
true.
I think if you're playing like a mech heavy deck, then early game, I think could be potentially pretty good.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not the best card in the world by any means, but then it's a common, so it's not going to be the best card. But I
No.
think if you're playing a mech based deck, this could be quite good
I imagine,
for
yeah.
a one cost.
One cost 3/2. If you have a lot of mechs on the field, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I can see this in sort of mech aggro.
Hmm.
It's got to be a mech rushdown. You're not going to see this in late game plays
No,
at all. Not at all.
no,
The stats, nah. But
no.
low cost, high aggro for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be it.
Hmm.
So anyway, next card is Doctor Boom. Oh,
Ah,
I didn't get the Boombots card. Hang on, let me look that up. So Boom, Doctor Boom is
I love the art on this card.
it is
It's just
fantastic.
like,
It's based off of Doctor Doom. That's why he
yeah,
got the hood.
yep. This guy was in Burning Crusade in World
Mm-hmm.
of Warcraft in
Yep.
a place called Netherstorm, which is why it's all kind of purple and lightning and stuff in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And he was. I just remember dying to his boombots constantly when I was trying to do him
Yep. Yep. Yep.
because he's kind of stood at one area and it's really difficult to get to him, and he sends like waves of these little boombots out, and the idea is you kind of have to play Frogger to try and get to him without getting blown up by these bots.
Okay. Let me add it up. Let me throw it up here in these under spare parts. So yeah, stat wise, that's a 7/7 for 7.
It's not bad.
It's great. I like it.
Yeah.
It's very, very powerful. Definitely a contender.
Yeah, I mean, War Golem. It's the same stats.
Yep.
Seven cost.
All right.
Only this has the two 1/1 boombots.
Incoming Boombots. Death Rattle, deal 1 to 4 damage to a random enemy.
Yeah,
It summons 2 1/1s, and the bots explode, dealing anywhere from 1 to 4 damage to a random enemy. That's pretty powerful.
Yep.
You could get a lot of value out of Doctor Boom. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
like, what do you think? What would be the ideal circumstance for 2 1/1 Boombots?
Well, it's a death rattle, so
Yep.
obviously they're prone to silence. But are you likely to have two silences? No.
To deal with Boombots
To do with two boombots at the same time, you're not going to have enough.
on turn 7, turn 8. No.
Random enemy can, that can include the hero
Yep.
as well as the minions.
Yep.
Yeah. So
What-
if he hasn't got any minions on the board, this will do 1 to 4 damage twice to the enemy hero
Mhm.
when it dies. And I guess that would probably be the ideal situation, is use Doctor Boom to protect them by using Doctor Boom to trade, possibly.
Mhm.
But then obviously the boombots might only do like 1 damage each, in which case it's not so great.
No. So what kind of decks could you see this in?
I guess if you already had, let's see, if you were playing a warrior deck and you already had the War Song Commander out, then the boombots would have charge.
You could play them both in one turn.
Uh,
Turn 10.
yeah, turn 10 you could do that. You could War Song Commander and then Doctor Boom,
Mhm.
and then the boombots would have charge, and then you can throw them into whatever you want.
Yep.
To do that 1 initial damage, and then the 1 to 4 random damage.
To a random enemy. Are there any cards that require us to sacrifice minions? There are, but they are mostly warlock cards. Not
Yeah.
not any regular cards. Um, there is the Sacrificial Pact, which sacrifices a demon, gives you 5 health, but aside from that, not much.
Yeah, that's the anti-Draxus card.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It does work on Jiraxes. Oh,
hmm
Jesus.
hmm
But anyway,
Yeah, I like the card. I'm not sure. I mean, even if they get like put back into your hand with like a sap or something,
they're one
uh, I
cost.
s- yeah, they're one cost. So next turn you just put them straight back out again.
Yep.
Um, even like if your opponent pops a freezing trap or something,
Mm-hmm.
this would be a nice way of being able to like get rid of traps and stuff and secrets. Having those 1/1 boom bots just find out what the secret is.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you're playing against a paladin and they've got what is it? The noble sacrifice.
Oh, right. It still
They'll
has
kill.
value. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll kill the noble sacrifice, and then they still do their 1 to 4 damage to
Random enemy.
another
Yep.
something else. So yeah, I like it. I mean, there's a reason it's legendary.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
I
very
mean,
true.
stats wise, it's
It's
not
it's
it's not
hefty.
as good as some other legendaries.
It's not as
Um,
bad as some other legendaries either. It's
no,
one stop short of that 8 mana prime spot.
yeah,
8 mana you probably
yeah.
do a lot.
But I think because of the boom bots, I think it makes it that bit more viable.
It's literally 3 minions for the price of a 7/7.
Mm. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about this the way that Trump would think about this,
Value
he would
wise, yeah.
he would say that it's a 9/9 for 7.
Yeah. No, no, yeah, yeah. It would be a 9/9 that deals 2 random damages to a random enemy for
Between 2 and 8 damage to
yeah.
2 random enemies, or
Yep.
even 1 random enemy, depending on which they choose. I suppose.
Yep. Yep. I
I like it. I think it's good.
I like
Uh,
it, but I wouldn't use it as a finisher. Or at least
oh no, I don't think you
yeah.
should use it as a finisher.
No.
This is a taking back control type
Yeah.
card. I think
Yeah.
if you're
This is the
beginning to lag behind a bit, maybe, or your opponent's just put out a couple of minions and you've not got anything on the board.
oh, exactly. This is the card you use when you're down.
Mm.
This is exactly what you use.
Yeah, I like it.
Next card.
I believe there are some cards. Yeah, there are some cards that buff all your minions. Stormwind Champion, which is a 7 cost 6/6 that gives
Yep.
all your minions +1 health and +1 attack. So
Raid leader.
there are a few of those. Yeah, Raid Leader does that, a similar sort of thing.
Yep.
So yeah, there are
yeah.
those cards.
There used to be other cards, but they got nerfed. They got nerfed hard. Anyway, next card.
Yep. Okay.
The Enhanso Meccano. Ah.
This is similar to what we were just talking about.
Yep.
This one buffs all your other minions.
Either. I'm curious what the wording is here. Does that mean it gives them all either Wind Fury, Taunt, or Divine Shield? Or does it give each one a different random ability? That's what I'm curious about. Will it give one minion Wind Fury, one minion Taunt, and the other Divine Shield? Or will it give all of them a random of the 3?
I think it gives them a random of the 3. So they could all end up with the same one, or they could all end up with different ones,
Okay.
depending on how many minions you've got out, obviously. So this could be really, really good, because you could end up with having, you could say you've already got 3 minions on the board already, and then you play your Enhanso Meccano, and a couple of your minions get Wind Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that could be good.
This is definitely a card this is just an all-around good card as long as you have minions on the board. This is something you can play when you're behind and you need to clean up, or when you're ahead and you're ready to finish.
Yep.
You know, this is just all around good card. Again, you don't play it for the stats. At all.
No.
At all.
No. No, it's got the stats of a 2-cost card.
Yep.
Not a 4-cost.
I'm surprised this isn't a legendary actually, given its ability. I'm surprised at that, aren't you?
Yeah, but normally legendaries are named characters.
Yeah, like
most of the time.
I'm surprised they didn't give a named character this ability because it's very
see.
very powerful.
Well, yeah.
I would understand if it was give one of your other minions, you know, one of the 3, you know, but all of your other minions.
Yeah, but it might not necessarily go in the way that you want it.
That's true.
I mean, your creature with the higher amount of attack doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get Wind Fury. It might end up getting Taunt.
Yep. That's true.
When you don't want it to, you know. So I don't know. I think it's very the battle cry is fantastic.
Right now, yeah.
I think it could end up winning you games if the right card gets Wind Fury, or even if the right card gets Divine Shield and is able to take out something on your opponent's side without you losing that card.
Yep.
I think that's good.
Yep. I like it. I like it a lot. This is.
But I think it's one to be played when you already have minions on the board.
That's what you need.
And are ready to attack with. So you don't play this at the same time that you're playing your other minions. You wait until the turn after so that you can attack with those minions. Because otherwise, if you play it in the same turn, anything that gets Wind Fury is just going to get taken out straight away.
This is Jane's right. This is a stalemate breaker. This is something where if you need to clean up, you play it, and just honestly, aside from the taunt, the other 2 abilities just all value. Divine Shield, you know, you get a free hit. Wind Fury, you get 2 hits. You know, it's I like this card. This is definitely a card I would run a lot.
It's very fragile though. That's the only problem.
It's fragile, but you already get the value out of it through the battle cry. The battle cry is what you're paying for. You're not paying for the 3/2.
Put this in the zoo deck and
oh my god.
and watch it wreck.
That's true. Zoo is gonna come back.
I'm not sure that it's a very good idea to put this in a shaman deck though.
Nah.
Because giving your totems Wind Fury or Divine Shield or Taunt is probably not advisable, really.
It's garbage. The totems have like no attack.
Yeah, so yeah, that's probably not such a great idea, but in like any other kind of like rush aggro deck, I think that could be really good.
I was hoping that this expansion would be the death knell of Zoolock, but it looks like because of the cost of this, Zoolock's gonna come back strong, possibly stronger than ever.
Maybe
because they're gonna draw for this. They don't even need to wait to turn 5 for the Doom Guard. They just need to have this in their hand at the beginning, even, and then they just draw for cheap cards, and then pop this out. It's like, oh, Wind Fury.
Yep.
On all of our smaller minions, it's like that's pretty much a 1-turn kill.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a possibility. You might end up with 3 or 4 minions with 2 to 3 attack each, and they all end up with Wind Fury.
Yep.
I mean, that's a possibility.
Hell, they don't even need Wind Fury. Divine Shield prevents a lot of low-level board clear that would be used against Zoolock. So.
Yep.
Taunt is the only thing I don't like about that ability. Taunt is very. If I can't control what minion I'm giving taunt to, it's kind of a meh. It's a deal breaker. I don't like it.
But that's why it's not.
That's why.
I mean, they've got to balance it somehow. I mean, otherwise it would be overpowered, and everyone would be using it.
Yeah. Everyone, yeah.
Because there's always going to be that one creature that you don't want to have taunt, that is already hiding behind a taunt, like a Northshire Cleric or something. You don't want the Northshire Cleric to get Wind Fury necessarily or taunt. You might want it to get Divine Shield though, guaranteed it'll get torn and it'll just get taken out the next turn. You're like,
Ooh,
ah,
that would hurt. That would hurt a
yeah.
lot.
So
Anyway.
there's always got to be a downside. That otherwise these cards would be just too powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the wording is unclear. But anyway, next card. Speaking of Zulok, I'll wait for this to load up on the stream for you all to see it. You know, I should probably open up the stream. Hang on. Yes. Yes. Speaking of Zuloks.
Yep.
The explosive sheep. Oh my god. First of all, I love the artwork. That's basically how I imagine explosive sheep. Explosive sheep is actually something you could make in World of Warcraft, and it's just hilarious.
Yep.
Oh my god. Okay. You have the floor, Mr. Sparks?
Well, it's a bit like the Abomination, which is the 5-cost 4/4 taunt, because it still has the same death rattle. It deals 2 damage to. Oh no, the is it the same?
Abomination is 2 damage to everything.
That's 2 damage to everything, which is just 2 damage to all minions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is a great early board clear, and I think that most people will probably be running at least one of these.
Yep.
Especially mages, because they can activate the death rattle themselves.
Yep.
And paladins might want to use it so that to combo with equality. Because they can equality and then explosive sheep, and boom,
Jane
done.
made a point. Very interesting point. If you toss us in with Bouncing Blade or Frothing Berserker, assuming that it survives, like assuming that the Frothing Berserker survives, that would pretty much be a board clear. Assuming the blade doesn't hit it first.
Yeah, that's that'd be a bit risky, I think.
That's that'd
be a bit too risky, I think.
That one is a Hail Mary play.
I mean, you could put the explosive sheep out afterwards
as a cleanup. Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're asking too much from RNGesus.
You're asking too much from RNGesus.
RNGesus be like, no, I think you've had enough from me today.
I think he would be like, I killed almost everyone else with the Bouncing Blade. I think that's too much.
Yeah. If you could pull it off, it would be the most amazing thing ever in Hearthstone. But the chances of it happening are very slim.
It's one of those. It would be one of those things that would go on Hearth Trollden.
Yeah.
If you could pull that shit off.
If the blade hit the sheep, then the berserker, the frothing berserker is going to take 2 damage.
Yep.
Which means he's only going to have 2 health left.
Yep. Everything else would get 2 damage as well.
Yeah. So I don't know. It depends on what's on the board for that to work, really.
Yeah. If you were going to do a play like that, I would say, Explosive Sheep plus a Defender of Argus. Yeah. Also, hey Grayson, how's it going?
Hey Grayson.
Actually, that's true. Explosive Sheep plus Defender, or the was it Protector Sun was it Sun something?
Sunwalker?
No, not the Sunwalker. The 2-cost thing that is basically the Defender of Argus.
The Sun Fury Protector.
Sun Fury Protector, that's right. Sun Fury Protector.
Good boy.
And Explosive Sheep would work wonderfully.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is it's a nice kind of early silence bait as well.
Yes.
To avoid them using silence on something else that you might want to keep unsilenced later on.
Mm-hmm.
Unstable Ghoul and Explosive Sheep. Unstable Ghoul has a taunt death rattle. When it dies, it deals 1 damage to all minions, which would then kill the sheep, which would then do 2 damage to all minions.
Yep. That
So
would
that's like a 3 damage board clear.
Yeah.
Or you could combo it with Wild Pyromancer, which does 1 damage to all minions.
With a spell, yeah.
With a spell, so if you could combo those perhaps. For a nice board clear. So I think either of those would be useful. I think if you taunt this up, it's guaranteed a silence or a polymorph or something like that.
But that's one less silence or polymorph that your opponent has for a later game.
Totally.
And so yes.
Totally.
See, this is what I like about this expansion. Blow everything up. Just annoy the fuck out of everyone.
Yeah. No, I really like that. I think that's got a lot of potential for annoying the hell out of your opponent.
I would say if you really want to go ham on it, it would be a later turn, but if you had Baron Rivendare out earlier, you pop out Explosive Sheep. If you are let me finish. If you are a mage, Baron Rivendare, then Explosive Sheep pop. That's 4 damage to everything.
That's a flame strike essentially.
It's a global flame strike. Yeah. And Baron Rivendare, bless his heart, would still be standing at the end of it.
Just about.
Just barely. He'd be a 1/3.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Not much use to anyone after that, but yeah.
No. But that Explosive Sheep would be like the nuclear sheep, basically.
And that would be a 8 cost play though. To do that all in one turn.
To do it all in one turn, yes. But I would say with Baron Rivendare's stats, you could probably pop him out earlier, such that he lives 1 turn at least. You know, and
yeah, maybe,
yeah.
Maybe. Although, again, if you put Baron Rivendare out, chances are your opponent's going to try and do whatever they can to get rid of him.
He's a soft taunt.
Yeah.
He's such a soft taunt.
Because they do not want whatever's coming after him to trigger tricks.
He is the horseman. And
so,
they're like, oh, fuck that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I think you'd have to play this all in one go.
Okay, next card is a class card, actually.
Ooh.
Yep. Well, it's what do you think, Matt? It should be loaded up on the stream right now. Fell Cannon.
Oh, right, yeah. Fell Cannon.
What do you think? At the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to a non-mech minion. Doesn't matter what it is.
I think you're going to have to play a pretty much a full mech deck.
Mech Warlock.
For this to really take effect. Or at least, while this is active, not play anything other than mechs.
I feel like this is sort of a Blizzard's attempt to veer characters away from Zulok. Because it says deal damage to a non-mech minion. Doesn't say friendly or enemy. So if you're running Zoo, if you're running Zoo and you play this out, you run the chance of nuking your own minions.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like that's Blizzard's way of saying like, hey, guys, we're kind of, done with this meta right now, so maybe try something new.
Yeah. I also like the stats on it. I think the stats are pretty good.
It's a Soul Priest. It's an Alkanai Soul Priest.
Yeah.
4 cost, 3/5. That deals 2 damage. So.
So it's similar to a Demolisher, as well.
Oh, is that? Yeah, it doesn't say random. Jane's right.
Well, no, it's not random. But I guess at the same time it is. Because it depends on how many non-mech minions are on the board.
Yeah, that's true.
If you've got 3 non-mech minions on the board, then it's going to be one of those 3.
Yeah.
So in that respect, it is random.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Demolisher is a 3-cost 1/4, which does a similar sort of thing. So you could have demolishers and fell cannons on the board. That would be crazy.
Wow, that would be. Demolisher would
That
count as a mech. It would be a board clear. Well, it'd be definitely a board cleaner. Not a
yeah.
board clear. It'd be a
Although
cleaner.
the demolisher has an opportunity to hit the hero as well, rather than just minions.
Yeah.
Whereas the fell cannon is just minions.
I would definitely say Fell Cannon and Demolisher combo would be sort of a, like, soften it up. Soften all of the non-mech minions. Yeah, but also the thing of it is, if the opponent is running mechs, this thing is not that effective.
Yeah, I
It's
don't think you'd get to choose which one it would attack at the end of
no.
each turn. I think it would work in a similar way to like Ragnaros and the Demolisher, where you end your turn and it does 2 damage to a non-mech minion.
Yep. I feel like the random is implicit here, but you know
Yeah, I just
we'll just have to see how it
obviously
works.
obviously if there are no if all the minions on the board are mechs, then it's not going to do
It's
its
not gonna do
damage.
anything.
No.
Yeah, it's not gonna do anything. It's worthless.
So yeah.
So
But I don't think you'd get to choose what you attack at the end of each turn. I think that would be a little bit OP. No, I know it doesn't say that, but I think they've only got so much room for text in those little bits at the bottom. I don't know. I just don't think that would be the case. I mean, it might be. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the first card of its kind where you actually decide who it's going to attack. But I don't think that would be the case.
mm,
We haven't seen any cards that do that before, and I think yeah, yeah, there is a lot of that kind of stuff in Hearthstone where you kind of read it and you think, oh well, this is what I think it should do, and then it doesn't do that.
I feel like Blizzard needs to get their legal team working on this wording, because
Well,
honestly,
it's
it's vague.
it's like Mage Secrets, isn't
Mm,
it? Mage
yep.
Secrets, like the duplicate. When a friendly minion dies, put 2 copies of it into your hand. So
Which minion?
you think, okay, so I'll use this minion to kill that off,
Oh
just
yes.
in a trade, and then I'll
Yeah.
get 2 of that. But that's not how it works, because secrets only trigger when it's not your turn. But it doesn't say that.
No.
But that's how it is. So
It
yeah,
it should say that one of your minions is killed or something like that, like something less vague than
yeah, yeah,
when one of your minion dies.
yeah, yeah,
Because I did that exact same thing. I first got the card. I was like, oh, okay, this could be cool.
yeah,
I run a high value minion into something. Nothing happens.
yeah,
I was like, I was devastated because one, that was a high value minion, and
yeah.
two, it's like,
And
did I read
another,
that?
yeah, and
correctly?
then nothing happens. You're like, why has my duplicate not worked?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, even though it doesn't say random or target or anything like that, it would be whatever non-mech minion is on the board, and if there is more than one, then it would be a random one of those. I think that's what it would be. But still, 3/5 for 4 is a pretty good card, and
Stat line is fantastic.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see some Warlock decks that utilize this, and I think using that alongside Demolishers as well, I think would be pretty awesome.
Demolishers, Harvest Golems, like a mech Warlock would be really cool.
Mm.
I think, yeah. Anyway, next card. Oh. Well, we'll see when it loads. There it is. Flame Cannon. 2-cost spell by mage. Deal 4 damage to a random enemy minion.
Is this a mage card?
It is a mage card.
4 damage for 2 mana.
To a random enemy minion.
How many? If you're playing this early game, how many minions are going to be on the board? at like turn 2, maybe 1, maybe 2.
I see. This is another like I don't think it's meant to be played early game.
Well, no, because 4 damage would be too much for most early game
Yeah,
minions anyway. Uh, so I guess if you could keep this and use your other removals, so that there's only one thing on the board for when you play this.
this is basically a bomb lobber without a minion.
Uh,
So it would be, the argument we said earlier: anti-rogue, anti-cloak, um,
yeah, yeah,
auctioneer.
yeah.
The the only thing I don't like about it is that it could have been a different cone of cold. Like if you look at it,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
flame
Yeah, yeah.
cannon, you don't expect it to deal damage to just one minion. I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
I would much prefer it to be a more powerful cone of cold without the freezing effect.
Yeah, but then I think it would have to be like a 4 or 5 cost.
Yeah,
Because
I
I
would
think, was it Cone of Cold's like, what, 3?
three. Three costs deals one damage to all minions it deals one damage to three minions and freezes them.
Yeah.
I would like basically the flame strike version of that. Say like deals 2 or 3 damage
Yeah, I think
to
if I think you'd have to, if it was going to do 2 damage, I think you would, if you went up to 3, I think that would be, it'd have to be really expensive. It'd have to be like 7 or 8 cost.
I would be okay if it was a 3 damage to center minion and 2 damage or 1 damage to either side.
So a bit like the explosive shot from a
Yeah,
hunter.
yeah, like a cheaper explosive shot.
Mm.
I would
Yeah,
be
that
okay
could.
with that.
Yeah, that might have been all right. I mean, maybe they'll bring that in at some other point with a different type of card. But for 4 damage for 2 mana, I think is pretty good.
The random aspect is
Yeah, yeah.
what
But I mean, if you're playing a controlled type deck anyway, uh, then you're not going to have to worry too much about the random,
I
because
was
you probably only have like 1 or maybe 2 enemy minions on the board at any time anyway. So
I was actually just going to ask you about that. Like most mage control metas run the Frost Nova Doomsayer, right? So what card
yeah, a lot of them do.
which card would you take out to put in a flame cannon? Like those control decks are designed for late game, Alexstrasza and then like just Fireball, Frostbolt, Ice Lance, that kind of thing.
Mm.
What would you take out for a flame cannon? If you're going for a control deck, flame cannon really doesn't have that much value.
No, I suppose not.
I would say if you're going an aggro mage, whatever that would look like, flame cannon would be good for just removing minions. Like if you just need stuff off the board,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what, just get something gone.
yeah.
Then aggro mage, flame cannon would be good. But
Yeah, I suppose like if your opponent has 2 minions on the board at say turn 4, and you've got a frostbolt and a flame cannon, then frostbolt for the first thing, get rid of that, and then flame cannon the next thing. Might be a nice way of getting some
yeah.
decent removal out there.
See, Grayson's
Yeah.
got a point. Random is not control. It's just get something gone. It's territory.
Well, yeah, if you've only got 1 minion on the board, then it's control. If there's only 1 minion, because it's not random, then you know exactly what it's going to hit.
Mm. But that's the question I was posing earlier. With all of the various ways for a mage to control huge boards, why would you take out one of those cards to put in a flame cannon?
Mm.
That's my main question. I don't see a point to it in a control type deck.
No, I suppose not.
Aggro, I can see that.
Yeah, it might work better in an aggro deck.
Like aggro spell power.
Doing damage to a taunt or something.
Yes, that would do it.
I mean, 4 damage for a mage is almost enough to get rid of most things, and then you've got your hero power to finish it off. So
Yeah, yeah.
I mean that would get rid of a Senjin Shield Master or a Sludge Belcher,
Yes, yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Chillwind Yeti.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's only 4 mana. So
Yep.
I think 4 mana to get rid of something that costs 4 or 5 mana is relatively good.
Mm-hmm. So, I
I think I think we'll see it. I think we'll see it get used a little bit. I don't think it's going to get used that much though. I could be wrong, and someone might go, "Oh my god, this is the most amazing card ever. We could put it in this deck, and it'd be fantastic."
I'm telling you, Matt. If it's gonna be used, it's gonna be aggro
Alright.
mage. That's like control. I'm sure a handful of people will try it out in the pure control, the ice control, the frost mage builds,
Yeah,
and then they're gonna realize like this doesn't mesh well with the style at all.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I can't really. I'm trying to think of what I would take out of those to put that in, and I'm having a tough time of thinking of anything.
Exactly. Like the main.
Yeah.
Would you take out maybe ice barrier? Maybe, but then
Maybe.
then you lose
But yeah,
that 8 armor.
I think using it in combos with, say, Sorcerer's Apprentice and Mana Worms and stuff like that would probably be a more effective way of using it.
Okay,
As you're saying, like an aggro kind of deck.
we
Because
have
you put a Sorcerer's Apprentice out, it's only 1 mana then to do 4 damage.
we have another like 26, 27 cards to go through. So let's
Speed that up.
yeah, let's speed it up.
I was just
Okay.
thinking that. I was thinking, oh, we should probably
Yeah,
go a
we
bit
should probably,
quicker.
yeah, we should probably speed this up.
Okay.
So next card up is the Gnomish Experimenter, a 3-cost 3/2 battle cry. Draw a card. If it's a minion, transform it into an angry chicken, or transform it into a chicken.
Why would anyone want to use this card? Seriously. What is the point in this card?
If you are in a spell-heavy deck and you need all the card draw you can get, then yeah, sure. But if it's a minion-heavy deck, I would see no point.
Doesn't matter if
whatsoever.
it's a spell heavy deck. There's always that chance that it's going to be Ysera or Ragnaros or something that you really, really don't want turned into a chicken.
Because RNGesus is like, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. And you could be like, I've got the best deck. This deck works fantastically. It's gonna be so good. I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna get to legendary rank, and it's gonna be amazing. And then turn
I like it.
turn 3, you pop him out, and you're like, yes, I'm gonna get myself a lava burst or something. No, you're not. Your Earth Elemental just got turned into a chicken. So.
Hey Vans, hey Trend. Trend says chicken equals power. The chicken is power.
The protein. Yeah. If you're eating the chicken, that's fine.
Yeah, don't ditch the chicken.
I guess it could be okay if you were playing a Beast Hunter deck.
I was just thinking about that. If you're a hunter and you desperately need a beast,
No.
well, odds are the rest of your cards are going to be beasts as well. So you're going to turn a high value beast.
Unless that chicken is like a 5/5 for 5, then I'm not interested.
It would be like the angry chicken's big brother,
Yeah.
the angrier chicken.
The angrier chicken. Unless it's like a really awesome chicken, then I'm not interested.
Most of the times when it says chicken, it's angry chicken. And that's hilarious.
I'm just like, if you're gonna use a card to draw a card, then there are better ones out there.
Okay.
Than that.
So
Gnomish
like
Inventor.
Parlock, forever thinking of bullshit priest maneuvers, says it's a low chance trolling against Thoughtsteal. You Thoughtsteal a Gnomish engineer, a Gnomish experimenter. You're like, well, shit. What do I do with it now?
Yeah, but then you've got that
You also
experimenter
have
in
it,
your
yeah.
hand the entire time.
Yeah.
So I'd much rather have something that was actually useful for me, and
I
not. I'd rather have a handful of cards that might troll a priest.
I honestly feel like if you're running
So
a I legit feel like if you're running a spell heavy deck, this would be okay. This would be very okay. But the odds are you're not, and it's just gonna be like it's gonna turn all of
even
your.
if you have a spell heavy deck, you're still gonna have some minions in it, and you're still not gonna want them turned into a chicken.
Well, that's why I say spell heavy, because the chances of you drawing a minion are that much lower. But yes, still,
Are there that many spells in the game that you could be able to do that though, and still
mage.
be able to win a game?
Oh, shit. I don't know.
No,
I actually
you could
no,
only
no.
do it in a mage deck. Only in a mage deck, I think, or maybe a priest deck.
Yeah, yeah. Mage, maybe priests. Priests have a lot of spells. But yes, I hardly see this minion being used at all.
I just don't. I don't even understand why. Why it's even a card? Why would they think that this was a good idea? I mean, the stats on it alone aren't all that great. A
Well,
3/2 for 3. It's not that good.
interestingly enough, Grayson says there used to be an 8 minion mage deck. The other 22 were spells. So there is. See, I tell you, spell heavy. There is value. There's
But
some.
still, you guarantee that RNGesus will say, "Not today, buddy. You're gonna have your one of your like really big minions. It's gonna get turned into a chicken." I'm sorry, I just don't understand
You're gonna
why
get
anyone would use this.
rag chicken, deep fried rag.
Yeah, it's just, this doesn't matter. You'd be better off using a no mission inventor, a 2/4 for 4. Use that instead.
Yeah.
It will
No.
survive. It will survive longer. It will probably trade better. It's one extra mana, but at least you don't have the worry of something turning into a chicken.
I like it. But okay. We hardly see. Alright, prediction is this is never going to be used. Ever.
I don't understand why anyone would want to use it.
It's basically. No, I would say that this card is worse than the Frostwolf Grunt. That 2/2/2 taunt. This card right here, worse than it. Hands down.
Yeah, I think so. But they said rare as well. I was like, I don't even understand. Why is it a rare?
I
Why is it
don't.
a rare?
I don't know. I legitimately
mad.
don't know.
It's
If
so
you're playing this in a heavy minion deck, like that is Jane's right. That is exactly why someone's gonna use it. They're gonna see like, oh, can I pull this shit off? Is this gonna work? No, it's
No,
not.
no.
90% of the time, this will not work for you. 90%, and the 10% that it does work, you get a spell. That's it. Or a weapon. Sorry, or a weapon.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
Kendrick is right. Chickens are beasts. If you have no beasts in your hand, and say you pull like I don't know, any non-beast gets turned into a chicken. Boom, chicken kill command done. I love the look on your face. You're like, fuck that.
Yeah,
Yep.
that this doesn't make any sense to me. Why you'd want to change anything into a chicken? I mean, I'm assuming that the chicken is going to be a 1/1 for 1, essentially. That's what I'm assuming.
As far as I know, like Poultryizer does the same effect.
Yeah.
It all gets turned into angry chicken. All of them.
Did the Poultryizer turn it into an angry chicken? I thought it was just a normal chicken.
Nope, angry chicken. The text says chicken, but the only chicken card in the game is angry chicken. Parlock is wishing there would be a card that let you force your opponent to summon it. Oh my god. Oh wait, no, that the odds of that are like 1 in 20,000.
Yeah,
If
having
you
this
pull,
having this card in your hand to kind of troll a priest.
if you it would depend on the priest having, if you play a shaman and hope against hope that the priest drew like mind vision or whatever this shit, gnomish experimenter. No, actually no, it wouldn't work because It wouldn't. No, it wouldn't work because Ancestral Call special summons a minion. The battle cry doesn't work. So,
Yeah, and this card is trash. Let's move on
yeah.
because
Okay.
this card does not need to be talked about this much.
All right.
It's
Next
trash.
card.
Never use it. This is going to be one of those ones that I wait until like if I get it in any packs, I'm going to disenchant it.
What? You're not even gonna collect it?
Not until I've got all the other cards. I'm going to disenchant it and use the dust to craft something useful.
Ouch.
And then right at the end, if I get it from opening packs, then fine. But
Oh,
I'm
you're
not
not
going to go
even
out of my
going-
way to get it.
You're not
I'm not
even
going to go out of my way to
your
get it.
Oh shit!
I did the same with Farsight, the Shaman card. I was like, I'm never going to use this.
I like Farsight.
It's such a bad card.
I like
Okay.
Noxious.
Goblin Blast Mage, let's talk about this.
Okay.
If you control a mech, deal 4 damage randomly split among enemy characters, and it's a 5/4 for 4, so I quite like this card.
Value is good. There are a lot of 5-cost cards that have.
So
the
it's
5/4
basically
stat
like
line.
you've got a 5/4 for 4, and then it's doing like a slightly more powerful arcane missiles on top.
Yes, basically. And it's
So
among enemy characters, so hero is included.
Yes,
I like it.
it.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I feel like.
I think I would have preferred it if it was a 4/5 instead of a 5/4.
But
Just to give it that extra little bit of
Yeah.
survivability, but at the same time, it's got that
it's powerful.
damage.
It's
yeah,
powerful. Yeah.
I like it.
I feel like fire mages are gonna make it back with this expansion. You have the flame cannon, and you have the blast mage, and you have pyroblast, and you're gonna see a lot of aggro style, hard hitting fire spec mages. Now I'm saying fire spec because World of Warcraft fire mages are heavy into damage. And I know PvP, a lot of people run frost mages, but with something like this, board clearing is aggro, just rush down, burn everything in your, this is a scorch earth policy. Burn
Like it.
everything. I like it. And the damage shift, instead of being a 4/5, it's a 5/4. It feels like aggro. You're dealing that 1 extra damage.
Yep.
4 health doesn't, against a mage, or actually against a lot of things, 4 health is not, particularly helpful. A lot of classes have things that can deal 4 damage. You have
and we're seeing more of them with this these cards as well.
Yep.
We're seeing more things that can deal 4 damage, like this, for example. Does 4 damage randomly split. We saw those other 2 cards earlier on that do 4 damage. Some of them random, some of them just straight 4 damage. So, yeah. And the only downside is it's because it's got 5 attack. It means that a priest can get rid of it quite easily as well.
Yeah, that's true, but then again, the thing about that is yet another card that the priest needs to use resources on. Like a lot of the anti-priest meta now focuses conservatively, like, oh, I just want 4 attack minions so that they can never touch it.
Yeah.
My thought process is the exact opposite. Target barrage here, target everything so that you run out of ammunition before I do.
Yeah.
That's my thought process when approaching a priest. Like
I like it. I like this card. I think we'll probably see this get used quite a lot.
It's great.
I think the mages haven't really been shown much love with previous stuff. I mean, Duplicate is a really nice addition, but some of the other decks seem to be able to do so much more and have a lot more versatility, whereas mage decks I seem to find play essentially the same kind of thing every time.
They're so dependent on what the enemy does.
And mages only seem to be good at one thing. Mage decks only seem to be good at one thing and not much else. They don't seem to be good at aggro particularly. No. It's a kind of a secrets and control type deck.
Right now, if you're running across a mage, odds are it's a frost control. That's the odds. You hardly ever see aggro mage. Anyway, next card. Oh, sorry. There we go. Next card up is another neutral card, the Illuminator, a 3-cost 2/4. If you control a secret at the end of your turn, restore 4 health to your hero. What do you think, Matt?
uh, I think this is going to be used by quite a lot of
Mages,
decks. Mages, paladins, maybe,
hunters.
maybe not so much hunters,
I,
but
I,
I can see this getting used quite a lot by paladins and mages.
yeah, I can see that. In terms of maximum value, it would be mages with their ice block, then paladins with those weird abilities that's like maybe eye for an eye, or things that will rarely ever be used. And then you have last one would be hunters, which their traps are nearly almost always set off. But mages
Yeah,
would get maximum value out of this. Actually, holy shit! If you pull ice block and an illuminator, that increases the value of ice block because you might end up with having more than 1 health after they pop the ice block.
yeah, you would, because it would.
And it'd be that much harder to pop it because you keep getting
Well, no,
healed.
because you wouldn't control that secret anymore after they
That's
popped it. So you wouldn't get that full health unless you played another one
that's true.
the turn after.
But before they pop it, it'd be that much harder because each turn, instead of just beating down a static number, at the end of your the mage's turn, it'd get 4 health.
Yeah, as long as that illuminator is still alive, you're going to get 4 health at the end of each turn, and it make it that much more difficult to kill you,
Yep.
basically. So if you can hide that illuminator behind a taunt, or if you're a paladin, give it divine shield.
Mm-hmm.
And just basically make it really difficult to get rid of,
It,
then your survivability is going to go through the roof, and your opponent's going to have a real tough time of. I mean, basically they'll end up having to hex or polymorph it or something like that, or silence it to be able to negate its effects. I like it. I think it's going to be a really strong card.
I do. It's basically a soft taunt. Opponents are going to go after this card hard. And it's 4 health. It's played relatively early game.
Yep.
It's a 2/4 for 3. The only other
But
2/4 out there is what? Inventor for 4?
yeah. Plus, if you're playing a paladin, you can put Noble Sacrifice out which will act as a secret to gain your 4 health, but it also protect the Illuminator from getting a direct trade from
Yep.
another minion.
Yep.
And you could play stuff like Redemption as well. So when it does die, it comes back to life with 1 health.
Redemption is such an asshole card. You play Redemption on a Divine Shield minion? Oh my god, it's so annoying.
Yep. And then obviously Repentance to prevent people from playing charged creatures to take it out and
Yep.
being able to survive. And yeah,
Yep.
I think that's going to get used. I think you'll probably see that used in trolling mage decks that have ice block straight away, and I think you'll probably see it in paladin decks that want to use some late game stuff and keep them alive until late game to put the big creatures out.
Definitely more so mage decks. That's my feeling on it. Anyway,
I'd like to try it in a paladin deck. I think.
Paladin work too. Anyway, next card. The Matter Bomber. Hello, my friend. So, if some of you guys might know, there's the Mad Bomber, which is a 2-cost 3/2, deals 3 damage split randomly amongst everyone else. This is his big brother. 5-cost 5/4, deals 6 damage randomly split amongst everyone else. Oh my god. Randuin Rin, that gimmick randomized RNG's Pray to God deck is going to have such a blast with this, and I'm pun intended.
Yeah. But there's not much to say about it, really. I mean, it's a
It's the big brother.
It's fairly good stats, and you've just got to hope that you don't get horribly murdered by it.
It's the big brother.
I mean,
I'm
6 damage
saying.
is a lot. It is a lot of damage, and
It
if
is.
it obviously has the ability to hit the same thing 6 times. It's
If it,
unlikely. It's unlikely to hit the same thing 6 times, but it's a possibility to hit the same thing six times. So you
yeah.
could end up taking out something that's actually quite big with it.
Yep. You could end up taking out a 6 health creature if, RNGesus is with you and it's like, okay, hit this dude. But yes, it deals 6 damage between all other random characters.
Yeah, so it throws out 6 bombs that do 1 damage.
It can
each,
hit more than once. Yeah.
and it can hit anything.
Even you.
Yeah,
Even
it can
your
even
guys.
hit you. It doesn't hit itself though. That's right, isn't it?
No, it's
So anything else, but the mad bomber will be safe. But he's the only one that will be safe, and he just throws the bombs out. So
yeah, completely random. This is gonna be amazing. Turn 5, you're not even expecting it. Matter bomber, and then your opponent plays it and gets 6 damage right to his own face. It'll be like the biggest fuck you.
that never happens, though. I mean, come on, let's be honest. That
That's-
never happens.
It
It's
never
always,
happens. It never
it's
happens to
always
the
the
other
opposite.
guy. It always
No.
happens to you.
yeah. You're always the other guy in that situation.
Yeah. This is going to be amazing. I'm gonna love
Yep.
it. Oh my god, Matter Bomber. Brawl and he still survives. Because Bomber, man. Mad Bomber, Matter Bomber, it's gonna be fantastic. Anyway, next card. Well, actually,
Turn 7, you could put both of them out. You could
Oh
put
my-
Mad Bomber and the Matter Bomber. I think you probably want to put the Matter Bomber out first. Though.
Yeah, you put the Matter Bomber out first because at least he can survive a full hit from the Mad Bomber.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh my god. If you just fill your deck full of these like random damage minions,
Demolishers and yeah, all sorts.
Maddest Bomber, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a 7 cost, deal 8 damage, randomly split between all other characters. It's gonna have, but it's going to have a 4/4 stat line. Just
I'm not
because
sure about
you can't break the 8 mana rule without making it a legendary, unless there actually is a character in World of Warcraft that would fit the bill.
Maybe there might be
Maybe.
there might be a goblin that's out there somewhere that I don't know about.
Yeah, that just loves this shit.
Yeah, quite
Then-
possibly. There are a lot of goblins that like blowing stuff up, so who
That's
knows?
true. Then you can make it a 6/6 for 8 that deals 8 damage randomly split between all characters. That's a proper stat line for something like that.
Yeah, that would be good.
I mean, yeah, you can make it a 6/5 just to continue the trend. It'll probably start off as a 6/6, then become a 6/5. But 8 damage split randomly between all other characters. Oh my god.
Oh man, can you imagine? Did you end up just getting all of them straight in your own face? You'd be like, oh, and just concede. Just play it and then automatically get your concede button ready, just in case.
Just like boom, 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 and you're left with like 2 health. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But yes, I can definitely see this being used a lot, just for value, honestly. This is definitely something you play on your own empty board.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't want to play it when you've already got minions out. That'd just
No.
be silly.
No, not at all. But I love it. I love it, man. It's going to be great. Next card, Druid only. Imagine your opponent when that happens, that's true. Next card is the Mech Bearcat. A 6 cost 7/6. Whenever this minion takes damage, add a spare part card to your hand.
That's gonna be awesome.
It's a druid.
7/6 for 6. I like
Yep.
that. The fact
Yep.
that it can then get buffed with spare parts.
Indeed. Indeed. I think that's part of the unique mechanic here. In that you could use it... I was just getting to that, Grayson. You could use it straight for damage, but you don't get the maximum value. The value comes in when you use it to trade for minions and you get the spare part card.
Stick a Mark of the Wild on it.
Yeah.
Make it a 9/8.
Hell, you could, you know what, to boost the health, you could stick on a Mark of Nature. Make it a 7/10. A 7/10 taunt for 9 mana. So is this just a more long-winded Gurubashi Berserker? No. No. Well, yes. Sort of. I would say a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. It is a Berserker in that when it gets damaged, you add a spare part card. But the spare parts are random. They could be anything.
Yeah.
But I agree with Grayson. There's probably going to be a nerf, bring it down maybe to like a 6/6 or 7/5, make it easier to kill. You know, what do you think, Matt?
I don't know. I think it's. I don't know. I like this card. I think it's going to get used quite a lot. But you know, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's completely overpowered. It is a strong card. It is a very strong card. But I don't think it's necessarily going to get nerfed.
Okay, Parlock doesn't know what the spare part card is, so I'm just going to show him real quick, if you don't mind. But yeah, continue.
I think the Druids will have a lot of fun with this, for sure.
I would use it. It's a 6 cost.
Yeah.
It would fit perfectly in my ramp deck.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you know, if you end up getting some of the ones that we saw earlier, end up giving it Windfury or something, that's just going to be amazing.
Yep. So Parlock, spare part cards are basically extra cards that are not in your deck. They are 1 cost, and each one has a special, unique ability that just does. It's basically a small little thing that may help turn the tide of the game.
I mean, stats wise, it's not that much different from a Boulder Fist Ogre, which is a 6 cost, and that's a 6/7 instead of a 7/6. But that's just like a common. That's just like a basic card. So
it is.
This is a rare.
It's a rare. Yeah, it is a rare. It's also susceptible to Big Game Hunter.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Big Game Hunter, Shadow of Death, obviously stuff like Hex, Polymorph. So, you know, it's not completely invulnerable. Especially as, you know, you're going to be playing this fairly late game.
But anyway.
So, yeah, I mean,
next card. I would use it. I run Druid. I think
it's good.
I would use it. Okay. Next card is, what is it? Mech Warper. Mech Warper is a 2 cost 2/3. Your mechs cost 1 less.
Cool.
I like it.
Yeah, if you're playing a mech deck, that's great. It's essentially a Sorcerer's Apprentice, but for mechs.
Yes.
It's
a
with a bit more survivability.
That's right. Sorcerer Apprentice is a 3/2. Yeah.
No, I like that. If you're playing a mech deck, you'll be playing 2 of these, I guess.
You would.
I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to put that in there. Making a mechs cost less. Sure.
It's definitely a lot more powerful than Summoner's. What is it?
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
No. The Summoner one, the one that summons minions. It's not Sorcerer's Apprentice. It's like Junior Summoner or Summoning Mage or something like that, where the start of your turn, the first minion you play is one.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh, what is it?
The pint-sized summoner.
Pint-sized summoner. That's it. Thank you.
The first minion you play each turn costs 1 less.
Yes, it's basically
that's a 2 for 2.
Yeah, this is much better than that in that all of your mechs cost 1 less all the time.
Yep.
And if you're running,
that's fantastic.
If you're running a mech aggro, this is perfect.
guess what, Vin? If you play this, it means your a Noyo bot or whatever it's called, a
It costs
Noyotron.
1.
Well, it doesn't cost. Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit, that's right.
No, hang on. Isn't the Noyo? Oh no, it is 2 costs, isn't it?
The Neutron is 2 costs.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say there's a limit. So if you run 2 of these, basically
No, the effect would stack. It's the same as
Yeah.
the mage thing with making a spells cost 1 less. It would be the same thing as that.
Yep.
So if you had 2 of them out on the board, it would cost 2 less.
Yes. Yes, exactly. I like it. Mech aggro is gonna be a thing. It's gonna be an annoying ass thing, but it's gonna be a thing.
Yep.
So yeah, I can.
Explosive sheep will cost absolutely nothing with one of these on the board.
Holy shit! Blow up
Zero.
everything, and these guys will survive that.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
Just.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Next card is a legendary. Hello.
Ooh.
Mechgineer Thermoplug.
Ah.
9 cost 9/7. Whenever an enemy minion dies, summon a leopard gnome for you. Now,
Yeah, because he's the last boss in Gnomeregan,
Gnomeregan.
which is where all the leopards. Yeah, which is where all the leopard gnomes come from.
exactly.
So that kind of makes sense. 9/7 though. It's a bit of a weird stat line. I don't think we've got anything else that's a 9/7.
No. Everything else is 8/8. You don't see any 9/7s.
Core Hound, no, which is 9/5. That's a 7.
Corehound is 9/5. The Beast is 9/6.
Yeah.
So there's
The Beast is like
there's-
what 6 cost, isn't it? So.
Beast is 6 cost, yes. There's literally nothing out there for a 9/7.
Okay, it's a bit of a weird one, but okay, I'll go with it.
It's powerful. It's very,
It
very
is.
powerful.
It
And
is.
whenever enemy minion dies, summon leopard gnome.
Yep.
I feel like this is something you would play on a full board on both sides. Like if you want to just clear out minions, for example, you play this turn 9 and then just start sacking your minions into their minions.
Yeah. Or explosive sheep.
Or explosive sheep, yeah, or any, yeah, or any of the crazy goblin type shit that's happening right now.
Yeah.
But
And then if you could combo that with Baron Revendare, you've got a lot of damage coming out.
yep.
I'm just not sure that it's going to survive for very long
No,
once you put that out.
no,
Because although it's got 7 health, which it's quite a lot, I don't think your opponent's going to want you to get like a board full of leper gnomes somehow. Even though leper gnomes are quite easy to get rid of, every time one of them dies, you're going to take 2 damage. So
yep.
yeah, I think they'll probably want to try and get rid of that ASAP.
That's why I don't think this would be used like on its own. That's why I'm saying like you put it while you have a bunch of minions on the board and are ready to trade.
Yeah.
Like the maximum value out of Mechgineer Thermoplug isn't from his stats. Again, like most of these cards, it's from his ability.
Mm.
You know, basically you remove one of their minions and you get a free minion in turn. A leopard gnome is a 2/1 card where when it dies, your opponent gets dealt 2 damage to the face.
Yeah.
Very, very powerful card. Very, very useful in aggro. This, would you say this is a finisher type card?
Yeah, I'm kind of rating it in a similar kind of way to like Kel'Thuzad, where it's kind of like a finisher. You put it out there when you're kind of on your way to trying to finish off your opponent, but not as a finisher itself.
Mm-hmm.
The 9 attack is nice, but I imagine it's going to get shut down real fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd have to use it on the turn that you're going to attack with a whole bunch of small stuff. Maybe maybe it get used. I'm just trying to think of like possible ways it could get used. Like maybe after, like the turn after you've used equality on a paladin, perhaps. Or if you've just done, or if you're a hunter and they've just triggered your snake trap and you've just unleashed the hounds as well, and then you play this to be able to make use of all that. I don't know.
Yeah, Jane. It could be a setup for a finisher, but
I think because it's 9 cost, it basically means you can do very little
no,
the rest
yeah.
of that turn.
What?
I mean, we saw explosive sheep, which is only 1 cost, so I guess you could put the explosive sheep out and then next turn hope that something bad happens to the explosive sheep, but that's not likely to happen.
But it is a mech.
Yeah,
So
true.
you could get it out for cheaper.
Yes,
Possibly.
this is true. Yeah, yeah.
Possibly. Like, I think Mechgineer Thermoplug would be great in a Warlock mech deck that also runs Summoning Portal.
Oh Christ.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Summoning Portal
I
reduces...
haven't seen Summoning Portal get used to a decent effect for a long time, though. It normally, whenever I've seen it,
It gets
almost
shut down
always
hard.
gets silenced.
It gets shut down hard.
They don't even bother killing it most of the time. If they've got a silence, they'll just use a silence on it because then it's just wasted space.
Yeah.
Then.
But honestly, if you run it... I think if you could craft a mech Summoning Portal deck, Mechgineer Thermoplug, fantastic.
Mm.
It would be utterly fantastic.
Yeah, it would be a bit of a gimmick deck.
It would,
work
but it would be an effective gimmick deck. That's the thing. It could work.
if it works, like
It
any
could
other
work.
gimmick deck. If it works, it'll be amazing. But only if it works.
All right. Well, next card. Gimmick decks are fun.
Yeah.
Now this is a good rogue type card, or any kind of like card where you can protect it. The Micro Machine, a 2-cost 1/2 at the start of each turn, gain 1 attack.
Oh, so it's a bit like the what's it called? Is it 1 cost? The Light Warden,
Yeah, it's basically the Light Warden where you don't
So-
need to heal anything.
and slightly more expensive and doesn't gain as many attacks.
Light
But
Warden.
it's a similar sort of thing.
Light Warden only gains 1, I think, per heal.
No, it's 2.
It's 2? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. But
Um,
yeah,
Yeah, no, that's still good though. I mean, in the kind of mech rush decks, sure, why
Yeah.
not?
it would be a target. Yep, it would be a soft
But yeah, I
target.
mean, if you could put that in stealth
That's what I'm,
with
that's what I'm
with
saying.
a spare part, maybe
Yep.
spare part might be able to put it in stealth. Otherwise, you're gonna have to rely on what rogue card is it?
Conceal.
No, because that's only for 1 turn.
Oh, it would be
Master of
Yeah,
Disguise.
Master of Disguise.
Yeah. So yeah, if you could combo it with that.
It would be a turn 6 play,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
So here's hoping that your opponent has run out of board clear by then.
Yeah. Yeah, because
You
it's
know
only
what-
got 2 health, so I'm not sure that that's the best idea, really.
I mean, it's basically a cheaper shade of Naxxramas that isn't as good. But there is a lot of... It's definitely a
Yeah,
card
I think I'd rather just play the Shade of Naxxramas, to be honest.
on its own, yes, but this is definitely a card that needs mech synergy. If
Yeah.
you play out the mech summoners and the mech buffs, then you could get it out for free. And it might have like additional attack, additional defense, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think this is the sort of thing that if you can give it extra health, then you probably should.
This is the kind of thing where
Because it's going to get killed so quickly.
if you're going all in on a mech synergy deck, this is something you run in it. That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
if you're going to use this card, you cannot half-ass mechs. You can't say
Yeah,
like,
that-
oh, I'll have some mechs here and some other cards here. No, you have to go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a mech only card. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
I don't see that getting used in much else other than mech rush decks.
Yeah. All right, next card. Oh, this card. This is the Paladin card. It should show up right about now. There we go. Muster for battle, 3 cost, spell, summon 3 1/1 silver hand recruits, and equip a 1/4 weapon, which is basically Light's Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
For 3 mana, I think that's fantastic.
3 mana is good. No, it's good.
Because that would normally cost you 7.
Yes. Yes. Over the course of like 3 turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think,
I
mean, it might not necessarily be the best thing in the world, but if you've just done like an equality,
it's a cheaper, less effective Unleash the Hounds.
it could be good.
I've been reading some forums about this card. If, if you say turn 5, Knife Juggler, Muster for battle.
Oh yeah,
Turn
I love
5.
that idea.
Or if you can somehow get it to survive, you can do this on turn 3, but only if the Knife Juggler survives.
Yeah.
Like Knife Juggler turn 2, Muster for battle turn 3. But that's only if it survives. If you want to max value, it's got to be turn 5. And you get a weapon to like bop on the head whoever survives.
Yeah.
But yeah. And
yeah, no, I like that idea.
If by some miracle you have like a Direwolf Alpha, say, one of those guys, like if you get any buff cards, you can use those. Like if you have if you play it after you have the Stormwind champion out, those would all be 2/2s.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Knife Juggler would be a 4/3. So that's pretty powerful.
I'd be interested to see how this combos with stuff like the Wild Pyromancer, whether the Wild Pyromancer with spell effect would proc before the 1/1 recruits are placed.
It's always spell card first, then ability.
Oh, in that case, don't play it with the Wild Pyromancer then.
Do not play this with a Pyromancer. Because you're basically getting a 3 cost like Light's Justice, which is garbage.
Yeah.
Do not play this with a Pyromancer. But I know someone somewhere out there is going to be like, oh, this is totally going to work. And they're going to see it, and all 3 of those recruits are going to die.
So if you were to play Muster for Battle whilst having a Sword of Justice equipped, would that make the 3 1/1 recruits 2/2s, and then you equip the 1/4 weapon, destroying your Sword of Justice?
If you are assuming that the card text here is a sequence of events, then yes. The Sword of Justice would be used first and then replaced with the weapon. If you assume it's a sequence of events. If it's not, and if all happens at the same time, then the Sword of Justice would be destroyed before they become 2/2s.
Something I'll have to try out at some point.
That's something you experiment with. See, the card, it's vague. It's very vague.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just says there's 2 full stops. So it's silver hand recruits, full stop. Equip a 1/4 weapon, full stop. It doesn't say and then. There's no and then in there. So
that's something you experiment.
Yeah,
that's it. But if it does work and you get a 1/4 weapon and 3 2/2s, that's great. That's great value.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good value anyway, but yeah,
it's
that would
cheap.
make it better.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, next card. This is going to be interesting. Piloted Shredder. A 4 cost, 4/3 Death Rattle. Summon a random 2 cost minion.
Yes.
This is going to be fun.
Yep.
These are based off the boss fight mechanics in World of Warcraft, where after you kill the mechanic shredder, the pilot, whatever it is, jumps out of the shredder into a battle.
I've seen the animation that they have for this from watching BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm.
They actually come down in a parachute onto the board.
That's pretty much what happens. That is
and
cool.
it's so cool. They showed a clip at BlizzCon of the legendary version of this because there's a
That is
common
coming
one.
up. That is coming up.
Yeah, there's the common one. There's a rare one, and I think there's a legendary one, which
S-
can be any legendary.
Yep.
And yeah, they had Ragnaros
Oh my god.
coming down on a
Oh
parachute.
shit.
It was
Are
so
you
funny.
kidding me, man?
No, it was awesome. I like these cards. I think these are great. I think
These.
they're really fun.
Do you think these are better than Harvest Golem type cards?
Uh, well, maybe it depends. At least with the
It's.
Harvest Golem, you know what you're going to get. At
Yep.
least you know you're going to get a 2/1.
But
A
with
random
these,
2-cost minion. It could be literally any 2-cost minion.
it
It
could
could.
be
I mean,
Succubus.
if you're playing as a priest, you could end up with a scavenging hyena. You could end up with Defias ringleader. You could end up with an captain's parrot. You know, it's
Captain's Parrot
completely
is 2?
yeah,
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
yeah,
That is garbage.
yeah. I know.
Um,
So yeah, or you could end up with a doomsayer, which might not necessarily be a good idea.
No.
That could be
Or-
really bad.
It could. Yeah, you could end up with a Succubus, which is basically the piloted shredder replaces itself.
Yeah, succubus would probably be the best case scenario, I think, in that situation. I
It
don't
would
think
be.
there's anything else with a better stat line than
On the
for two costs.
on the 2 cost, no.
I think a 4/3 is probably the best you're going to get,
Yep.
unless you're talking about the Ancient Watcher. But the Ancient Watcher can't attack, so
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be replaced. I wouldn't want to replace it with the Ancient Watcher unless I had some additional card to modify
now
it.
does that include legendaries? Because you could end up with Lorewalker Cho
That's true.
or Nat Pagle.
I think it does include legendaries. It just says random 2 cost. So
Or
the search
Millhouse
engine.
Manastorm,
Millhouse Manastorm's
which is a
ability.
4/4. And
It is-
because it's summoned, his battle cry wouldn't take effect.
It's special summon, so no battle cry.
Yeah, so I think Millhouse Manastorm is probably the best one to get because that's a 4/4.
The search algorithm would just be like whatever card is a minion that costs 2 summon. That would be
Yeah.
the search algorithm. So it
I
could
think-
be Millhouse.
Yep, or it could be a novice engineer, and you don't even get the battle cry,
Yeah, there are plenty of battle. It could be
which
hell.
which would be really bad.
Hell, it could be Nerubian Weblord, and just screw both players over.
Yeah,
It's the Nerubian Weblord is the 1/4 that all Battlecry minion costs an additional 2.
yep,
So it could be that. Hell, it could be anything.
yep. But I like that idea. I like that more as a random thing. I like that idea more than some of the other random things that we've had.
I think if you run the odds are that whatever you're gonna get is gonna be more value than a 2/1. Like if you run the odds on that, odds are you're gonna get something that's more value than 2/1.
Yeah, there aren't that many that are that as bad as that. But yeah, it would be nice to see Lorewalker Cho just floating down in a parachute, and
Like,
landing
oh
on.
hi,
You.
I
And
heard
you'd be
you.
like, oh, hello.
I heard you guys had beer.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Next card. 6 costs, 6/4, piloted Sky Golem. Death Rattle, summon a random 4-cost minion. The Big Brother.
Yeah, again, I think these cards are great. I mean, you could end up with a Chillwind Yeti in there. I think there's a Warlock one. There's a Pit Lord, which is a 5/6.
Oh, that's right. It does cost 4.
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, Pit Lord is a 5/6.
I think that's probably one of the best stat lines you're going to get.
For a 4-cost, yeah.
Yeah, Baron Rivendare, perhaps.
Any of the 4-cost legendaries. It could be, you could get Tazdingo. You could get Yeti. You could get, what else is a 4-cost?
Water Elemental, 3/6.
Class Water Elementals. You could get the Korkron
Organized.
Bodyguards. Or the Korkron Elite.
Light Spawn,
You
5/5.
get Light Spawn. Yeah. You get.
So there's plenty of a new bar ambusher from Rogues. This is a 5/5 for 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
there's
right.
plenty of things you could get that are pretty awesome. I think Pit Lord is probably the best one though.
Yeah.
And so therefore you'll probably never get that.
Or if you do, it'll be your opponent that gets it. If
Yeah,
you do run into that
you'll probably end up with a Dragonling mechanic instead, which is a 2/4
without the Dragonling.
without the Dragonling.
Sad face.
Yeah,
Sad face.
yeah.
I can definitely see both of these golems being used in a lot of decks. Like,
Yeah, I think they're fantastic. I think they're really good.
just cuz. And they're going to be hard to kill because whatever you can kill the golem, but whatever comes out next, you have to deal with it, and you
Yep.
might not be able to.
That's right.
Man, this is going to be fun. I'm going to like this a lot. All right, next card. This one is a bit not so fun. The Recombobulator, 2 cost, 3/2, Battlecry, transform a friendly minion into a random minion of the same cost. It's I can feel like we're pulling at our collars right now, like, ugh.
Now this could be really good.
Yep.
Say for example you've played your Novice Engineer the turn before, you've got your card draw out of it, then play your Recombobulator.
That is true. You'd get another 2 cost.
You get another 2 cost, and as you mentioned earlier, the chances of you getting something rubbish
Fairly
when
low.
you've already played something rubbish is probably, not too bad.
Fairly low, yes.
You're likely to get something that might be better.
Yep,
But
yep.
yeah, you might get a Captain's Parrot. So
Or you could play this late game and say you use the minion that you have to trade into something such that it has a reduced health. So say you run the Yeti into something that deals 4 damage. You have a 4/1 Yeti. Play the Recombobulator and hope to God it changes
to something good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, transform a friendly minion, which means you get to choose. You get to choose which minion you get, but you don't get to choose which minion comes out of it.
That's right.
How many things are expensive because of Battlecry versus being expensive because of their board presence? Many more things are expensive because of Battlecry. Board presence cards, like pure board presence, not so much.
Yeah, if they don't have any kind of like wording underneath their name, like Oasis Snapjaw, for example, is a 2/7 for 4, which is pretty good, but that's it.
It has a total 9-point stat line.
But then at the same time, you got a 2/4 for 4, a Gnomish Inventor.
That gives you a card draw.
But because that gives you a card draw, it's more expensive. Because its stat line is probably more to a 3 cost, I'd say, than a 4 cost. So, but because it gives you the ability to draw a card, that's why it's slightly more expensive.
Yep. Recombobulator, I wouldn't play this early game.
I would only play this early game if I've played something like a Gnomish Inventor.
Yeah.
Like
become anything else. Just anything else. It doesn't matter what.
Yeah. Or if you're that's be really situational. I was going to say if you're playing like a hunter deck and your web spinner is giving you a Captain's Parrot, then you can change it. But
well,
but yeah,
that's going to happen.
If you've played your Novice Engineer, or even if you play like a Murloc Tide Hunter and you change the 1/1 Murloc Scout that you get with it, you could change that. Although that would be a 1 cost, wouldn't it?
The Murloc.
That would be classed as a 1 because that 1/1 Murloc Scout is a 1 cost mana.
Let me double.
Card. Once you play it, if it gets returned to your hand, it costs you 1. I think.
No, the Murloc Scout is a 0 cost.
Oh Christ! Yeah, don't do it on that. Then you'll end up with a Wisp.
Yeah, the only other 0 cost card is a Wisp. Like even the Paladin cards are 1 cost.
So Novice Engineer is probably the only card I'd use it on early game.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure.
And you'd be almost guaranteed to get something slightly better.
Oh, yes. Yes, most likely. All right, next card. Okay. Screwjank Clunker. 4 cost, 2/5. Battlecry, give a friendly mech +2/+2. It's a warrior specific card. That's a bit of a weird one.
2/5.
2/5. And it gives a friendly mech +2/+2.
That's good.
It's 4 costs for 2/5. That's basically Stormwind Knight without charge.
Yeah,
Stormwind
but
Knight is
then
a 4/2/5. But
giving it
it's
a 2/2 that could be good. I
mechs
guess you.
only.
Yeah, I guess you. I guess you get to. I guess like in like was it Shattered Sun Cleric? Is it a
It would
Shattered
be
Sun Cleric?
Shattered Sun
It's
Cleric is 1/1. Jane's right. The wording says it doesn't say other friendly mech.
Yeah, but no, the Shattered Sun Cleric. So like when you play this, I would imagine it would work in the same way that the
Yeah,
Shattered Sun Cleric works, where
I
you
think
play
so
it
too.
and then you choose which mech it is that you want to buff.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I don't know. I don't. This is weird. This one is weird. I don't know how I feel about this
Well,
because
that could. Yeah,
it's
you
just
could turn
friendly
your
mech.
Harvest Golem into a 4/5.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Or you could turn the damage golem, which is more likely, into a 4/3. Yes, you for battle cries you choose before it comes into play, so it can't give itself +2/+2.
Yes, you can't. Yeah, and you can't choose
This
yourself.
it's just oddly specific. That's all. It has to be mechs, so you'd have to run a warrior
Yeah.
mech.
Well,
That,
it doesn't have to. It doesn't have. You don't. You only need to have a few mechs. I mean, people have been running Harvest Golem for ages
that's true.
in
That's
their
true.
decks. So you put a Harvest Golem in on turn 3, and then turn 4 you play this one. And then
Okay.
all of a sudden, when your Harvest Golem is about to attack, instead of it hitting for 2, it's going to hit for 4,
Yep,
and
that is
it's
true.
going to be a lot more difficult to get rid of. And all of a sudden, your opponent's like, "Oh, crap."
Yep, that is true. That is very very true. Okay. Yeah. All
Or,
right.
or even put it on your demolisher and give your demolisher, make your demolisher a 3/5. Then all of a sudden your
Uh,
demolisher is doing 2 damage at the start of each turn, and it actually starts hitting harder,
it
and is more
actually.
difficult to kill. It'd
Oh
be a
yeah.
three
Yeah. It'd be a
3/6.
3/6.
Sorry,
Yeah. It'd be
3/6.
3/6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
think
Yeah.
this card is good. I mean, the stat line on it is a little
Weird.
unusual, but
Yeah.
it's 7 stats for 4 mana, so it's not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hit very hard, but the ability for it to buff other things so that they can hit hard, I think it's pretty good. I mean, if if Trump was to look at it, he would look at it as a 4/7 for 4, in which case that would be amazing.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's a really good card.
Okay. All right. Next card. The Shield Maiden. 6 cost, 5/5. Battle cry. You gain 5 armor. I saw quite a few people just ragging on this, saying like, "Oh, this is a terrible card. Who would ever run it?" But if you look at the cost division, 3 costs. It's 3 mana gets you 5 armor, and an additional 3 mana gets you a 5/5. You know,
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it. And I saw a perfect example. Basically, someone said, "Oh, turn 6, you get a shield block, and you can play a Mukla without giving your opponent any bananas."
yeah.
I
I mean,
saw
but
it.
you obviously don't draw the card that you
No,
would normally get, but yeah, no, I think it's quite good.
it's
And the fact that you get armor means that your shield slam is going to be more effective.
basically
Because
yeah.
your shield slam does 1 damage for every armor that you've got. So you put out a
And
shield mate, you've got 5 armor, and the shield slam will kill off virtually like any kind of mid-range creature. So
you have this card in addition to having shield blocks.
yeah,
So, and you have a 5/5. Like
Mhm.
a lot of minions that the warrior has that gives armor, not really that strong. They're not really that tough. Armor Smiths is a 1/4.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that's, come on, that's scratching. That is
Yeah.
nothing.
That's not really there for doing damage to anything,
Yeah.
is it?
But then you have a shield maiden, which is a 5/5, battle cry, 5 armor, perfect. I love it.
Yep.
It's a great
Yeah.
value card.
I like it.
I feel like a lot of warriors are going to use this one. Yeah, people said it sucks because of the cost, basically. It's like, oh, it's a 6 cost, only a 5/5. There are plenty of other
Yeah.
cards out there that are more powerful.
But you gain 5 armor though. I mean, like that's essentially 5 health. People,
Yes.
it's something's healing you for 5. I think that's fairly reasonable. I think six mana. I mean, what other 6 mana creatures can say that they give you health back?
None. Very few.
Priestess of Elune, which is a 5/4, restores 4 health to your hero.
Is it only 4? Oh,
Yeah.
man. Okay.
So this
Nice.
gives you one extra health essentially, and it has an extra health itself. So
Okay.
I think that's going to be good. And the fact of the matter is that armor allows you as a warrior to do stuff like your shield block
Yep.
or shield slam or whatever it's called that I mentioned earlier.
Okay. Next card. Ah, here we go. Priest card. Shrinkmeister. 2 cost. 3/2. Battle cry. Give a minion -2 attack this turn.
It's the first time we've ever seen anything like that.
Yep. This is weird. Actually, no, it's not. It's not weird. This combos.
It's weird in the fact that we've never seen anything like this
Yeah.
before in this game, but I think that's a really interesting idea and a really interesting card because it just basically means that you can trade more effectively.
I think not just that, but it could also be used in combination with the Shadow Word Pains. It would reduce. It would reduce a 4 attack minion to 2.
Yep. And then Shadow of Pain, gone.
Like for example,
Yay.
Yeti.
It's always a yay. It's always the yays.
It's always a Yeti, or if you're going up against a Handlock, it could be the Twilight Drake. Or if you're going against a Hunter, it could be the boosted Oasis Snapjaw, which is a 4/9. Any one of those. This would be in combination with the Shadow Word Pain, the removal.
Yep.
It's basically what you would do if you wanted to go the other direction and use Shadow Word Death. You would use the the lieutenant sergeant, the sergeant, right?
Abusive Sergeant.
Abusive Sergeant. You use the Abusive Sergeant to boost it up into death range.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I love it.
Yeah. I'd probably like it more if it was a 2/3 rather than a 3/2, just for that extra survivability.
Yep.
Being a priest card, it would be nice if it had a little bit more health so that you could possibly heal it.
Amen. But no.
But it doesn't. So it's not going to trade very very well unless you use it to kill off totems or something. I don't know. It's not going to be that great.
Nah, not at all. But I can see some use for this.
Yeah. I definitely think that that -2 attack is an interesting concept, and it's something that we've not seen before. So yeah,
All
I'm looking forward to trying that out.
All right, next card. Here we go. This is the one you were talking about earlier. Sneed's Old Shredder, 8 cost, 5/7, Death Rattle. Summon a random legendary minion.
Yep, that's any legendary from anywhere in the game.
Yep. It could be Deathwing. It could be Nozdormu. It could be Cho.
Yep.
It could be Nat Pagle.
Could be. Could be Dr. Boom.
It could be Dr. Boom or any of the other legendaries in here.
It could be Sneed's Old Shredder.
It could resummon itself. That's true.
Yeah.
That's a scary part.
Yeah.
Hell, it could be.
That would be so funny.
It's like, I
they just
killed
spend all that
you.
time killing it, and then it just comes back again.
It just cycles over itself. It's the one minion that won't die.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
Hell, it could summon Ysera.
Yep.
Any of the dragons, really.
Yeah. I like it. I think these cards are awesome, and it's going to be great fun playing them.
The Shredders are going to get the most use out of all of these cards.
I think so. I think people are going to play them in the hope that something awesome happens.
It feels like how hunters have adopted web spinner so easily.
Mm.
You know, it's a 1/1 that gives you a random beast, and they've just adopted it so easily.
Yep.
It's such a good card,
Except for when it gives you a captain's parrot,
except for that.
which is whenever I play it, I don't understand. It's like it's either captain's parrot or king crush. They're the only two I seem to get.
Really, that is
Yeah.
a huge disparity. I get.
I know, and I'm like, more often than not, it's the captain's parrot. I'm like, brilliant. I'm going to do this, or another web spinner.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you killed a web spinner. I've got another web spinner.
But yes, needs old shredder. Good
Like
card. Good card. And good stat line. Good survivability. It's a 5/7 instead of a 7/5. That thing's
Yep.
gonna live. It will live,
Yep.
damn it. Okay, next card. Here we go. Spider Tank. One of the cards I was talking about earlier, but that's a 3/4 for 3.
Oh, I was just thinking, it could also summon Thaddeus. The 11 and the 11. Because technically that's a legendary card.
It is. It is. It could summon Thaddeus.
Yeah.
That's entirely true.
Yep.
But anyway,
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I like this card.
it's solid.
I think it's a fairly solid card, yeah, for 3 mana.
We've never had that, in between 2 and 4 mana.
No,
2
I like
mana,
it.
yeah. 2 mana it's a 2/3. 4 mana it's a 4/5. 3 mana 3/4. We have the middle child. That's it. We have the
Yep.
whole family.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's good.
for a mech deck,
It's good.
I think that'll work well.
It's solid. There's nothing else to say about it, honestly, because it's literally nothing.
I mean, you could combine this with that one that we saw earlier, the 2/5 that buffs another mech 2/2.
It would be a 5/6.
Yep.
That's solid. That's solid.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Turn 7, 5/6, and a 2/5. Pretty solid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next card. Tinkertown Technician. 3 cost, 3/3. If you have a mech, gain 1/1 to the Technician and add a spare part card to your hand.
Awesome.
It's 3
Love it.
costs. Yeah, 3 costs for a 4/4. Yeah, and you'll already have a mech out, and you can probably play the spare part reaction whenever you need it.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, that's a
Yeah.
good card. 4/4 for 3. Is pretty good stat line anyway.
Mhm.
So the fact that you get a spare part added in there for good measure, it's good.
It could be the armor plating. It could be the rewinder. Just anything, really.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another legendary coming out. Toshly. 6 cost. 5/7. Battle Cry and Death Rattle. Add a spare part card to your hand.
Cool.
So, as soon as he comes out, spare part. As soon as he dies, spare part. That's...
Yep. 5/7 for 6 is not that great though.
No. I was just about to say that. I think that's probably part of why they give you spare parts. It's like, oh, here have a whirling blade. Give him additional attack.
Yeah. I think you'd have to give him additional attack to make it worth the 6 mana.
Or like, here, give him divine shield or cloaking or taunt or
Yeah.
that's
I-
why it's spare part.
Yeah. I think you'd need to give him something to make him a little bit better, because 5/7 for 6 isn't fantastic.
No.
So I think it's going to be. I think people that are prepared to play with the randomness of the kind of spare part stuff will probably use him, and I think others will probably just leave him alone.
Okay, 3 more cards left to go. We're almost done.
Hey.
Okay. Unstable Portal, Mages. This was one of the first ones released. Add a random minion to your hand. It costs 3 less.
Now, does that mean add a random minion from your deck? Because it doesn't
Nope.
say that.
Nope.
It just says add a random minion.
Random minion. It's basically the Mage's Farsight.
Well, no, it's not, because a Farsight effects isn't a Farsight from your deck.
It's from your deck. Draw a card, it costs 3 less. Unstable Portal, add a random minion to your hand, it costs 3 less. It could be any minion. It could be a minion that costs 3.
Yeah, so that's why it's different to Farsight, because Farsight is draw a card, so it has to come from your deck, whereas this isn't. This is just a random minion.
Yep, that is true.
It doesn't have to be from your deck; it could be from anywhere.
So what do you think about this?
Well, it's got the potential to be incredibly overpowered, doesn't it? Because you could end up with a 5-cost Ragnaros.
I was just about to say that 5-cost Ragnaros, or like a 7-cost Deathwing, or like any of those. It could be like a 5 or 6-cost dragon.
Yeah, you've got the potential there for this to be incredibly overpowered. At the same time, you could end up with like a Leper Gnome, which doesn't cost more than 3 anyway.
Yeah, or you get a Wisp.
Yeah.
You get a free Wisp. You made your free Wisp even freer.
Even more free.
It's value.
It wouldn't be so bad if the Wisp went, here, I was free, so here's your 3 mana.
Like, oh yeah, no, that'd be, okay, now that would be overpowered. If you get a refund, no.
Yeah. But for 2 cost though, I think I think we'll probably see that get used. I mean, it buffs the mana worm, so why not?
That's true. It does. And odds are, like, given the statistics of everything, you'll end up with something that's average 4 cost anyway. Honestly. Yeah. The odds are you'll end up with a minion that costs 4, and then you can just play it for 1.
Yeah.
You know,
that'd be fine by me. I'd be like, yeah, I'm happy with that.
And any random minion, legendary, whatever. So that would be fun.
Yeah. Unless you end up with like a Pit Lord or something. That wouldn't be fun.
It would be a what? It'd be a 1-cost Pit Lord.
Yeah, which is fine, but a Pit Lord does 5 damage when you play it.
That's true. Oh.
So it's like, do I really want to play this Pit Lord and take 5 damage?
Well, if you get it like turn 3, that's pretty much
yeah, I guess you're probably in a safe position.
That'd pretty much be the FU, yeah. And if you play if you're playing aggro mage anyway, an aggro fire mage anyway, then you can do this, yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll probably see that get used. It might get used instead of Arcane Intellect, maybe. And they might swap out 1 Arcane Intellect for an Unstable Portal.
Yep, I can agree with that. All right.
It'd be interesting to see how it works.
Second to last card is a Priest card.
Ooh.
5 cost 5/5 upgraded Repair Bot. Battle Cry, give a friendly mech plus 4 health.
Nice.
Pretty solid stat line for a 5-coster.
Yeah, not too bad.
You could do the upgraded Repair Bot leading into like a temple. It's basically a cheaper temple, Temple Guardian or something like that? The 6/6
Temple Enforcer.
Temple Enforcer.
Yeah, there was a 6/6 for 6 that gives 3 health.
To any minion. You could do upgrade Repair Bot into Temple Enforcer, and you'd have a whole bunch of buff minions. Or you could do upgraded Repair Bot into
Divine Spirit into Inner Fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Hell, you don't even need...
That's 1 for Parlock, that is.
Yeah, that is 1 for Parlock. you don't even need Inner Fire. You could, do Crazy Alchemist or anything like that. Or hell,
I see. Or you do it on a Lightspawn.
Yeah. You can't do it on Lightspawn. Lightspawn's not mech.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry.
But if it was mech, that'd be kind of weird. But,
it would be very weird. That doesn't really work. Okay, yeah, no.
But yes, it's a solid card. I like it.
Yeah, you could give that to your stupid thing, the Annoyo bot, or what it's called.
Yeah, the Annoyotron. Oh man!
To make it even more annoying.
It would be a 1/6.
Let's give it an extra 4 health.
It would be a 1/6, and then if you drop down an Inner Fire, it's a 6/6 Divine Shield Taunt.
There you go.
You, dude.
Suddenly the Annoyotron becomes viable.
Yes. That could be a turn.
But it only took like
5,
six extra mana to make
7.
it viable.
Well, if you play it all in one turn, so Inner Fire costs 1. An Oiltron costs 4. This costs 5. If you play it on turn 8, you'd have a 6/6 Divine Shield Taunt
And Neotrons too.
and a 5/5. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
You
Play it on turn
said
8.
4. Oh, okay.
So
Right. Yeah. I've got you.
yeah, 5 for the upgraded Repair Bot, 2 for the Annoyotron, and 1 for the Inner Fire. Then you have a 6/6 Divine Shield Taunt and a 5/5, and it's like, fuck you.
Yep.
Get through that.
Yeah, that would be pretty nice, actually. That would be pretty nice.
I told you, Annoyotron. Resist
But
the
you have
temptation.
to spend 6. You have to spend 6 mana though to make it good.
That's true. But if you drop it all on turn 8, then it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
You just have to resist the temptation to drop it early.
Yeah.
It's basically what priests are doing right now with Stormwind Knight. You don't play it on turn 4. You play it on like turn 9, and you get like 20 damage out one shot. You know, like that's what they're doing right now anyway. Anyway.
Yep.
Last card is a fairly basic card. Velen's Chosen. 3 cost, minion, 2 attack.
Yeah, this is another priest card, isn't it?
Yep. One of the first cards revealed. Give a minion
This
plus 2 plus
confused
4.
me.
And plus 1 spell damage.
The spell damage confused me.
We were debating about this earlier on Twitter. Like, is this...
I don't understand why there's plus spell damage. There is nothing in the priest decks as it is at the moment that has spell damage, like as a bonus, or anything to do with spells, like to buff spells or reduce the cost of spells. And I just don't understand why it's there. Like, I guess because it's spell damage, right? So that's
Yep.
Holy Smite.
Yep.
Holy
Blast.
Nova,
Holy Nova.
Mind Blast, and
Holy
Fire.
So it's what, 4 or 5 cards? Right?
There's 4, yeah.
So
I don't see many people using Mind Blast anyway.
Amaz does.
Because really?
Yeah.
Wait, is that in tournaments or is that
Yeah.
in ladder?
Oh,
Because that's 2 different things.
laddering, yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't see anyone using it in ladder when I've come up against priests. Occasionally, but it's normally because they're trying to get it to combo with Prophet Velen, because then it doubles the amount of damage it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just don't know. There's nothing. We've not had any kind of like plus spell damage in priest stuff before, and it just seemed a bit weird. Maybe I need to try out a spell damage increase priest deck at some point.
I checked on Hearthstone. The statistics of running spell damage into priests, moderate enough to be used.
Yeah, maybe that's something that I need to figure out. There was a spell power or spell damage rogue deck, so maybe I need to try a spell damage priest deck.
It
wouldn't be so bad if it affected healing as well, but it doesn't. It's just damage. So
yeah,
I'd be interesting to see though. Would it count if you're in shadow form for your hero power? Would that then? No, that would still only be 2, wouldn't it?
If you're in shadow form?
Yeah.
No.
Well, because
it wouldn't count.
It wouldn't count. No, because it's a hero power.
Yeah,
I was just
hero
thinking because otherwise mages would just be like just playing purely spell damage minions and using their hero power to just kill everything.
Yeah, no, that doesn't.
that would be a bit overpowered.
Vastly overpowered.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know about this one. The +2 +4 is nice.
It's good. It's good.
It would mean that your Northshire clerics would suddenly become useful for doing more than just being there for card draw.
It would be a 3/7.
Yeah.
3/7 maybe on like turn if they survive. Hell, you know what? Northshire cleric. Oh my god.
Because with 7
Okay,
health early game, you could start using your Northshire cleric to trade and then heal it to draw cards. So that could be quite good.
A small short-term combo that I love with Northshire cleric. Northshire Cleric with coin into Power Word Shield into Inner Fire. But with this, I would hold off on that Inner Fire until it becomes a 3-9.
Oh my god.
With
Yeah.
with one Power Word Shield, it would become a 1-5. This becomes a 3-9. Inner Fire, it becomes a 9-9. Wherever you heal, you get a card.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, oh my god. What the hell are you doing?
Plus 2 Mind Blasts would make it, that'd be 12 damage. Plus 9.
Mind Blast
That's
only,
a lot of damage.
yeah.
Yeah, because Mind Blast is affected by the
That's
the spell
21.
damage.
That's 21 damage.
Ouch.
Yes.
Okay.
Fairly
Okay.
early on.
I'm sold on this idea now.
Yeah. Yeah, see? Aha. Aha. You're converted.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yep.
Okay.
That was the first thing I noticed when it was +4, because then I looked at it, I'm thinking, Inner Fire, a lot of combos here. Crazed Alchemist, a lot of combos here. Basically anything that swaps health and attack. Just holy crap, huge damage out of nowhere.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's good. Okay. I'm gonna have to figure out a priest deck that uses spell damage to its best effects.
And that is it. That is all the cards that have been revealed thus far for Hearthstone Goblins versus Gnomes.
Yes, there's still a few to come. I think because there's 120. I think they're talking about in total.
Yes.
So I think there's still quite a few to come before we've seen them all. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing. There's some that you haven't that I've got here in front of me that you haven't mentioned yet. I'll just mention them quickly because I know we want to kind of finish up. There's a rare paladin card called a Cobalt Guardian, which is 5 mana, 6/3, and whenever you summon a mech, gain Divine Shield. So it gets Divine Shield every time you summon a mech, which I think is quite cool.
Holy shit, that's powerful.
Yep, that one was pretty cool.
Wait, the 6/3 gains the Divine Shield?
Yeah.
Holy shit. It
Yeah.
does 6 damage?
It does 6 damage.
Oh my
and
god.
has Divine Shield. So you play it, and then you play another mech, so that it automatically gets the Divine Shield.
Oh my god.
And then every time the Divine Shield comes down, you play another mech to put it back up again.
Jesus.
So that's pretty cool. There's one called the Foe Reaper 4000, which is an legendary 8 cost 6/9. Also damages the minions next to whoever he attacks. Now I don't know if that does 6 damage. So I mean that's a conal attack on a minion, which you've never seen before, which is really interesting. But I don't know if it does the same amount. So I don't know if you're attacking the middle one, if it does 6 damage to that, and then 6 damage to the 2 next to it. Because if so, that's going to hurt.
For sure.
That's going to hurt a lot. But that sounds quite interesting. There's a Goblin Auto Barber, which is a 2 cost 3/2, and gives your weapon +1 attack on a battle cry, which is pretty nice. The Goblin Sapper, I really like the sound of this card. It's a 3 cost 2/4, has +4 attack while your opponent has 6 or more cards in the hand.
That sounds like anti-draw.
So if your opponent has 6 or more cards in his hand, this is a 6. This is an 6/4 for 3.
That definitely feels like anti card draw, anti hand lock. Wow.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I like that. The Iron Sensei, which is a 3 cost 2/2. At the end of your turn, give it another friendly mech +2/+2. That's a mech as well. So so you'd be giving other mechs +2/+2 each turn at the end of your turn while it's alive. But it's only got 2 health, so I think you'd probably want to put this in a rogue deck. In fact, it might even be. I think it is actually a rogue card. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what it is. In which case, giving that stealth is probably a good idea. We have a Jeeves, which is a 4 cost. At the end of each player's turn, that player draws until they have 3 cards. So 1/4 mech. So each player has a turn in drawing cards, and so they always have at least 3 cards. Not sure that's necessarily a good idea, though.
Okay, so I'm looking on Hearthstone.com. Apparently,
Yeah.
Coghammer is supposed to be Paladin.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I thought that would make sense.
I thought it would be neutral. Okay. All right.
Um,
I'm just looking at Hearthstone. Apparently, they updated their new
yeah,
cards.
that's what I'm looking at the moment. Mimiron's Head, which is another legendary.
Oh, I
4/5
completely forgot
for
about
5.
that. Yeah.
At the start of your turn, if you have at least 3 mechs, destroy them all and form Voltron. Now, Voltron is right down the bottom, and it's an 8 cost 4/8 with Mega Wind Fury and Charge.
What?
Mega Wind Fury can attack 4 times a turn.
Holy shit! Wait, what are its stats?
4/8.
4/8 and attacks 4 times? That's 16 damage.
Yes. Unless you put like
Hang on, I need
unless you put an inner fire on it.
I need to get this. I need to get this on here. Hang on. I'm seeing it now. I'm just like, what in the holy shit?
Yeah.
Hang on, guys.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. This is bullshit. No, I refuse. If that's not fucking overpowered, I don't know what is.
Yeah, but you have to have 3 mechs on the board first, and then be able to play Mimiron's Head for it to work.
Let's see. Murmuron's Head is somewhere. Oh, it's somewhere here. But just for crying out loud, Voltron. 4/8 Mega Wind Fury. Oh my god. But there are also a lot of other cards here that we didn't get to go over. What is it? Where is it? Come on, I know you're here. There it is. Mimiron's Head. Alakir kicks the dirt around him. Like, that's cool. Yeah. Exactly, Grace. It's like, oh, you can attack 4 times? Oh, shit.
Yep.
And you do 4/8? That's basically just shitting on Alakir's 3/5.
So you have 3 minions on the board, 3 mechs on the board. So
Yep.
And then turn 5, you put out Mimiron's Head, right?
Yep. Destroy them all.
Destroys everything that you have on the board, gives you Voltron.
Yep.
And then, provided Voltron stays alive, obviously,
Yeah.
then next turn, you could, if you're playing a priest, you could inner fire, giving it 8 attack, and then attack 4 times, and then win the game.
Oh my god. That would be such bullshit.
Or if you're not, then you could Crazed Alchemist and attack 4 times with 8 damage.
That would
And win
be
the game.
such bullshit.
Yeah. But
Oh my
obviously
God.
that means that your Voltron has to stay alive long enough for that to happen.
It would have to stay alive for next turn. Oh, wait, it has charge.
Oh, it has charge. Oh, well, in that case, game over. Game over.
In which case, fuck
Game
you.
over, man.
Game over.
Game over.
Seriously, it has charge and Mega Wind Fury.
I forgot about the charge.
That's fucking bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. Turn 5, you pull out a 4/8 charge and Mega Wind Fury. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're gonna see so many people just rage quit because no one can deal with a 16 damage on turn 5.
That's
no
right.
one. And odds are no one's gonna be able to kill all 3. Odds are no one's gonna be able to keep your mech count under.
Hey,
3.
if you're playing a druid deck, you could then innovate in Crazed Alchemist on turn 5.
Oh, shut up. That's true.
Yeah.
And you know what? If I was gonna do that, I'd just sit there and just admire it. Take a screenshot. It's like, yo, I got 32 damage coming your
Although
way.
if you're playing a druid and you've got innovate in your hand, that means you could technically get Mimiron's Head out on
Earlier. Turn
earlier,
3.
like turn 3.
Turn 3. If you have nothing but cheap mechs, play all the cheap mechs that you got.
Yeah.
You know, you could like hell. You can what is it? Wild growth into it, and then innovate, and then just play all your cheap mechs, and then Voltron turn 4. Voltron, you know, just kill everything. Charge and Mega Windfury. What in the holy fuck? And the thing of it is that it's 4 attack, so it resists all the standard priest removals.
Yeah.
And with
Sorry,
its,
priests. Kaboom.
and with its 8 health, it pretty much can withstand anything else. Like seriously, in the turn that it would come out, it would just. Oh, that's right. You can swap its health attack with the 1-cost spell part.
Yep.
Holy shit! That's bullshit. That's bullshit, Matt. It's fucking bullshit.
Play it in a shaman deck with a nice what do they call it? The flame tongue totem. Give an extra 2 attack.
Oh my god. 10, man, I'm telling you. Oh, here's the Ogre War Maul that Matt was talking about earlier. It is a warrior class card, common, 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy. 3 cost 4/2. That Matt was talking about earlier.
Is that a warrior one?
Yeah, it's a warrior. I'm looking at Hearthstone right now. It says class warrior.
Yeah, I'm not sure that you'd want to use that
As a warrior, probably not. I don't think you'd want to use that at all.
It does say enemy though, so you're not going to hit anything of your own with that.
No, wrong enemy.
It does say enemy, so I guess if you're just going for the face and there's nothing on the board, then you can't hit the wrong enemy because there's only one.
Grayson brings up an interesting point here. If they only have 1 taunt and the card you want to get is behind the taunt, you could have a 50-50 shot of hitting the card that you want. Or hitting the face.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like, you could get around it, so that's...
maybe.
Yeah, that's one way to get around taunts.
Yeah, that could possibly work.
And also, by itself, Mimiron's head, it's a 4/5.
Which isn't too bad.
No, not at all.
But you wouldn't want to play it unless you had 3 mechs on the board.
No.
I mean, come on, let's face it.
No, yeah.
If you're putting... It's like having Fugan and Stalag in your deck. You're not going to play them just because you think that they're fairly good cards. You're putting them out there because you want to get Thaddeus.
Yeah.
And take out some stuff on the way.
You send them out to die.
Yeah, yeah.
Does the War Maul let you hit invalid targets? No.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
What would count as an invalid target?
Like a stealth target?
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe it's
possibly.
It's something we'd have to try out. I guess once the game goes live.
I feel like that's another implicit random.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. I would have thought because of the way that the stealth mechanics work and that the taunt mechanics work, that you would have to hit the taunt regardless of the 50% effect. You'd have to hit the taunt if there was a taunt up. If there was a stealth minion, then I guess you wouldn't be able to attack it with the weapon because it's in stealth. I think those mechanics would probably come into effect more so in that situation.
Oh, I see what Jane's saying. She's basically saying because taunt makes all other targets invalid. No, not exactly.
They don't make it the other targets invalid because you can still target those things with spells.
Yeah, it just says another.
You just can't use weapons or direct damage from minions on those until the taunt's gone.
Yep. And Jeeves here, another card.
Yeah, I think so.
About.
Yeah.
If there were 2 taunts, you'd have 50. Yeah, possibly. This card here, Jeeves, that Matt was talking about, 4 costs 1/4. At the end of each player's turn, that player draws until they have 3 cards.
I don't know if you'd ever want to use that.
No, it's a card. It's a card you would use against like a hand lock, or if you were a zoo lock. You know, something that just expends cards quickly, naturally.
Playing against a handlock would be pointless because they're always going to have more than 3 cards.
Yep, playing against a handlock gives them no benefit. So If you're
Well,
put,
yeah, I suppose in that respect, it would probably be more beneficial for you than it
yeah,
would be for.
for
But
them.
I don't know. I don't think I'd any time I'm thinking about giving my opponent cards.
You're
Yeah,
hesitant. Yeah, me too.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we were talking about like using the milling technique
Mm-hmm.
earlier for the like
But this doesn't work for
the
milling technique
giant, but
though.
that wouldn't work because
There's a limit.
yeah,
3 card limit. You can draw
yeah,
until you have 3, not draw 3.
yeah.
So yeah,
So this would only really work if you were playing like a rush deck and your opponent wasn't.
yeah, yeah. If you were playing a rush deck, like Zulok would definitely use this card. Shit,
Mm,
for all the cards that are anti-zoo in this expansion, there's one card pro-zoo. I'm like, make up your mind, Blizzard. Do you
yeah.
want them around or not?
I
This
yeah. I don't know. I think having one of these in your deck might be all right, just in case you start getting a bit card starved towards late game.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is the Iron Sensei. Um,
I think you need to put this guy in stealth
yes,
for because he'd just get taken out far too quickly otherwise.
he has no value outside of stealth.
Not really.
He
A
needs to
two
be.
two three is too easy to kill.
Yeah,
Like literally any sort of 1, 2, 3, 4 cost minion can get rid of that guy.
yeah. Just there's no value outside of stealth.
No.
Put him in stealth, keep him there.
Keep him in stealth and hope that your opponent doesn't have any kind of board clear.
Oh, this is the sapper you were talking about.
The Sapper, I think, is awesome.
3 cost, 2/4, has +4 attack while your opponent has 6 or more cards in hand. Great for early rushing.
Yeah.
Great, fantastic. Against a hand lock, that's a 6/4 on turn 3.
What I'm interested to see is if it would combo with
Mill?
no the Warsong Commander, because a Warsong Commander is whenever you summon a minion with 3 or less attack, it gets charge.
I think
So
it does.
when you summon it, technically it only has 2
Yep.
and then gets 4 attack.
Yes.
So that should give it charge.
I've seen sequence of it's basically like a frothing berserker sort of, or like any.
Yeah, but the Frothing Berserker doesn't gain that attack straight away, though, does it? It gains it afterwards.
That's true. I would say this would be fine. Honestly.
I mean,
Or
it says when you summon a minion with 3 or less attack, that technically has less than 3 attack when it's summoned.
What you can do with this,
Unless the attack changes while it's in your hand. But I've never seen that before.
No, that doesn't work.
So
What you can do is combo this with a milling deck.
yeah,
Yeah.
with the mech giant that we saw earlier.
Yeah. Mech Giant, the Clockwork Giant, Goblin Sapper into a mill deck. Fantastic early rush.
I'd quite like to see that on a
Ironically
warrior
enough.
deck. That would be pretty awesome, I think.
What, in a warrior deck?
Mm.
This one? Maybe.
Yeah, the Goblin Sapper with like the Warsong Commander and the Giant with charge.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be awesome.
I like it. Hang on. Come on. There we go. Goblin Auto Barber. Give your weapon 1 attack for 2 cost?
Mm,
If you
it's
have
alright.
if you have Assassin's Blade, you can make it a 4/5.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to use it on one of your decent weapons. You wouldn't want to use it just on your hero power daggers, because I think that would be a bit of a waste.
Again, you're not using this for the stat line. Most of these cards, you won't be using them for the stat line at all.
Not really.
No. Column Experimenter, Foe Reaper, 4,000. You're right. The wording on this card is weird. I don't. So does it do 9? No, 6 to everything else, or?
I don't know. This is why I'm confused. It doesn't actually say. It's going to be one of those things where we just have to find out when we use it.
Blizzard is being very terrible with the.
Well, it's just that they don't have a lot of room for them to be put on there. I mean, there's still time for them to change that before it comes out.
Yep.
I mean, it's just a little bit of text, so they
That's
might
true.
change. They might change that once the game goes live. That's the Cobalt Guardian.
Yep,
A 6/3. You need to have the Divine Shield on that to make it worthwhile.
for sure. There's no point to it otherwise, because it'll just die. Let's see. I think that's. Oh no, wait. What in the world? Is that really a goblin gnome card? Call pet. Draw a card if it's a beast. It costs 4 less.
Yeah, it's a new hunter card.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that is a powerful card.
2 cost Savannah Highmane, anyone?
Oh my god. Turn 3 Savannah Highmane would be biggest FU ever. Or hell, it could be a turn 2 Savannah Highmane if you coin into this and you pull it. That would be amazing.
Or 4 less, a 5 cost King Crush.
Ooh.
Imagine
Cost.
that. A 5 cost charge. 8/8. Ouch.
Oh god.
Ouch.
No one would expect that. Anti-Keelbot, kind of garbage. I gotta say, the most you're gonna get out of this is 8 health. That's it. Like, it's a 5/3/3 battle cry. Restore 8 health to your hero. 5 cost?
Yeah, but then if you compare it to Healing Touch with the Druid, that's a 3 cost restore 8 health.
Yeah, that's true.
So
And then you
you're
get
getting a
3,
2 mana 3/3, which in that respect isn't too bad.
And it is a mech. It is a mech. I would not use this one. I wouldn't use it.
I think it depends on what kind of deck you're going to be playing. If you're going to be playing one for kind of mid to late game, you might want to play it. If you're playing like a mech deck with like some big mechs towards the late game, it might be useful, but I haven't seen this one. Oh, that looks cute.
Anodized Robocub. Druid. Taunt. Choose 1 plus 1 attack or plus 1 health. Most of the people are going to make it a 2/3 instead of a 3/2. Because it already has taunt. Yeah, it already has taunt.
Yeah, why would you not?
But it's a choose 1. Robocub.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense to me. Why would anyone choose the extra attack at that point?
I wish it had an additional ability like choose 1s are basically battle cries, yes. But they're not.
You get 2 versions of the card on the screen when you play it. So one on the left will have +1 attack, and the one on the right will have +1 health, and then you just pick whichever one you want to use. So it's a druid thing. They have a lot of cards that do that sort of thing. So they've got what is it? They've got Keeper of the Grove, which can either do 2 damage to something or it can silence, and you have to choose one. There's Mark of Nature where you can give something for attack or for health and taunt. So yeah, they've got a bunch of cards that do that, and that's primarily a druid thing. So it kind of makes sense for them to have something like this.
Okay, I think that's just about all the cards, finally, that have been released. So we're done. We've talked about all of them.
Yep.
Oh my god. This expansion is going to change everything, honestly. And
Yeah,
it's
of
going
course
to be
it is.
amazing.
Yep, I'm really looking forward to it. The game needs shaking up, because it's, even though we had like the small injection of cards from Naxxramas, it was only what, 30 cards. That's not really enough to make that much of a difference. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this pans out.
Well, in that case, I think it's fine for us to wrap it up here. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Matt, for coming on this epic 4-hour podcast.
Has it really been that long? Oh
4 hours to discuss Goblins versus Gnomes, because that many cards have come out?
Wow. Okay.
Holy shit.
Okay. Jesus.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I didn't realize it had been that long.
There's
Oh my
so many
God.
cards.
There were so many.
It's impossibly large a collection of cards.
And that's not even all of them.
No, 120. We must have talked
120
about
total.
like 60 of them.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot in there. So yeah, that was good though. I mean, it's nice to kind of talk
Discuss
about
it,
these
yeah.
things because a lot of these cards I hadn't really seen before. So I'm yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be exciting.
They're gonna be fun.
So
Telling you.
exciting times, exciting times.
A
But we still
Noyotron.
don't have a release date. We still don't have a release date. Come on,
No release.
Blizz.
No release date. They're
December.
teasing us.
December is not a release date.
Is it really just vaguely December?
Yeah, they just said that's what they said at BlizzCon. They said next month. So December. It'll be
Oh
in time for
Christ!
Christmas. It's going to be in time for Christmas. We all know it's going to be
It's
in time.
gotta be. I mean, Christmas, perfect time. You know, spend all of your Christmas money buying these new cards.
Yep. Even though everyone will probably spend their money like Black Friday, which is coming up soon.
Black
So,
Friday is next Friday.
so yeah. So no one's going to have any money to
Spend
buy
even
all
more
this
money.
stuff. Yeah.
Call in that loan. Call in that bond. Kill that relative with the life insurance.
Wow. Showing
that
his true colors right there.
that
Everyone.
escalated very quickly.
If you're going to put this in a VOD, you might want to cut that bit out.
Everyone knows I'm joking. I'm joking. No, I'm not. I'm just joking. But yeah,
Good.
no. Grayson's got it right. Gotta drop mad dollar in cards. Like no presents for anyone
That's
whatsoever.
it.
No, I
all
gave
about
you. I bought you all presents last year. It's okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks everyone for coming. Thank you all the viewers here on Hitbox. Thank you all the viewers on YouTube. Thank you, Matt, very much for coming to discuss stratagems and
You're
just
welcome.
the hilarity.
My pleasure.
All right,
My
this
pleasure.
has been the Vincredible CCG Podcast, Episode 3. We will see you guys again next time. Hopefully, Goblins versus Gnomes will be out before then, so we can talk about it. All right. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.